You could set up
the
what?
The wide angle. I wasn't talking because we went live.
Oh, did we? I have no idea.
Yes, we did.
Oh, all right. Hello, people. Probably no one in the chat room right now, but hello anyway. Welcome to the...
There's actually a few.
There's a few? Oh, hello, people of Twitch.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking earlier today, shouldn't they be called Twitchies or something? Like, how has someone not thought up that? Like, people who watch on Twitch should be called Twitchies. Anyway, regardless. Welcome, Twitchies, calling you Twitchies from now on, to the first session for Group 1, the very first adventure for Group 1 of PlayUp Legends. Before anything else, a quick word from our sponsors. Miniature Corner Studio, who you can find on Facebook. They sell 3D printing locally, and when you use the code PlayUp21, that is no, sorry, I can't spell right now, PLAYUP21, and that is all lowercase, you get 10% off on your overall bill. And this is what they sent me. Thank you so very, very much, Miniature Corner Studio. It looks freaking beast. I can't actually show the can itself, so I'm going to just hide it. But as you can see, you can stick a can inside here, and this is like the way it does the thing. Yeah, it's pretty darn cool. Our second sponsor is warmongergamesmalta.com, where you can find anything geek related, board games and such, and until the end of next week, you can use the code PlayUpNC2830, that is PlayUpNC2830, all uppercase, to get 10% discount on board games, which is valid again until next week. We also have designtower.com, where you can find 3D themed terrain and figures delivered worldwide. And when you use the code PlayUp15, that is uppercase PlayUp15, you get 50% off your final bill. Finally, if you like what we do here at PlayUp, you can sponsor us directly on patreon.com/PlayUpMT. That is patreon.com/PlayUpMT for as little as €3 a month. Woo! So, welcome. My name is Z. I am going to be the Dungeon Master of this session. I think we can just go very quickly around the virtual table and each introduce ourselves. Why don't we start with the top left?
Where's top left?
That's you.
This is me, okay. I have a vertical monitor. I don't see. I'm at the top here at the bottom.
You do? Oh, that's neat.
Yes. All right. Hi, I'm Captain Gecko, a local streamer in Malta, and I am going to be playing a monk. One-eyed monk.
Oh, we'll get to the character descriptions later.
Okay.
What's your name just for the sake of
Yeah, I'm just Captain Gecko, local streamer.
Get the rest for now, and we'll come to that.
Yes. Enjoyer of iced tea.
Yes.
And ice cream.
Actually, here, I'll just very quickly go through the players because at the end of the day, they're hopefully probably going to be remembering you by your character names anyway. So we have Captain Gecko joining us. We have Hammer Time. We have Magic Man, Siggy, who we'll get back to in a moment, and Tornex. Siggy, did you manage to set things up before we move forward?
Yeah.
Awesome, fantastic, and I cannot hear myself coming out of your speakers, so that's amazing. You seem kind of flustered. Everything okay?
I forgot my shoes upstairs, so I crossed the road barefoot.
Ow.
I got my headphones.
It's fine, it's healthy.
That's
You
fine.
got your headphones, and that's what counts.
Oh.
I admire the dedication right there. Okay, fantastic. So, without any further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So, our adventure takes place on the New World, a massive continent full of intrigue and fantasy. Across the Kingslands, we find many different cities and towns that are built. The vast city of Dawnhaven, Kovir, Daggerguard, Blackgate. Up to the north, we have the Bluestone city of Aegis. Just below it, miling next to the crystal blue sea, is the harbor of Aegis. As we zoom in closer from our eagle's eye view, we can see a lot of activity going on down at the harbor. Several ships are docked up. Sailors and workers carrying cargo off and on. We see several merchants and traders set up along their stalls along the seaside. Lots of activity, a lot of hustle and bustle going on down there. Now, of course, it is a harbor, so there are several inns alongside the harbor. In one such inn, we find a individual. She's sitting alone at a table, nursing a small flagon of ale. She has placed her black pointy hat off onto the side, and she's gazing around the room. Siggy, very quickly, could you give us a very brief description of what your character looks like?
So my character is a female. She's a human, so she looks very much like me. Red hair, tall, but not too tall. Like not 6'1" tall. Like a normal, like an average Jane. You wouldn't pick her out, but you wouldn't, forget her. She blends in with the background.
Sure. Siggy, as your character sits there, as if you don't mind me using your character name, as Arcelia sits there at the table, you sort of drum your fingers against the wooden top of the table, looking around a little bit impatiently as the thought crosses your mind, they're late. The bartender glances over to you as he cleans his glasses. This is my default for cleaning glasses, by the way. I sort of have to raise my hands to do my actions. Yep, that's even worse. Never mind. We'll go back to that. The bartender is cleaning glasses. He sort of glances over in your direction, sees that you're still nursing your flagon of ale, and carries on. Across the inn, there's a little bit of activity going on. A few sailors, a few traders have sat down. There appears to be some sort of wrestling match going off in the corner. And all of a sudden you hear, huzzah, coming from one side of the inn. And you see this person wearing much clothing, but just enough to appear decent, standing up with a victorious arm in the air, and you see his opponent from the arm wrestling match sort of nursing his wounded arm against the wooden top of the table. Gecko, would you like to give us a very quick description of what your character looks like?
All right, so he's quite tall, 6'2". At least. He has one eye. Looks like he's been beaten multiple times. Obviously, he's a monk, so it's part of his training. He has tattoos all over most of his upper torso, shoulders, arms, and over his face, like the sides of his head. Big tunnel earrings. Looks really, really, beefy, but he's a sweetheart.
Okay. Gecko, as you stand up victorious from your arm wrestling match, your opponent who you just beat looks up at you and slides 5 silver pieces across the table going, "That was a good bout. We'll do it again once you're back on shore. Be seeing you later, Gecko." Stands up and leaves the table. As you glance around the inn, you spot your crewmate, Arcelia, sitting at the other table. You stride over to the other side and stand next to her.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
How'd you do this fine night?
Not bad. Flexes.
I see the drink has already taken you.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Gecko, as you say this, you see the bartender materializing behind you. What'll be for the victor?
Everything.
Another.
In one glass.
Everything.
Taste. Yes.
We got some pretty strong stuff, but I guess you can handle it, can't you? And he turns around to fix you up one of everything within one glass. As you sit down, the wooden door to the inn swings open, and in walks well, the first thing you notice is that the shadow cast by the afternoon sun outside appears to be a little bit smaller than one would first expect. Into the inn walks a creature that does stand out a little bit, even though it stands on two legs. Its glossy fur sort of reflects the sun coming in from the outside, and there's a quick as its tail whisks through the air. Magic Man, would you like to give us a quick description of your character?
Yeah, of course. So, my character is very small. He looks to be like your average everyday house cat, but he is he keeps himself, he stands on his back legs. He's about, I'd say, maybe 2 feet high. He carries with him a weapon that seems a bit bigger than he should be able to manage to use. He does have an eye patch over his right eye, and he's very.
What weapon does he have on his back?
It is a it should be a modified version of a short sword, because a short sword might be a bit too big for him to carry, but he calls it a short sword.
Okay. Cecil, as you walk into the inn, you notice your crewmates off to the side. What would you like to do?
So I would like to sort of pounce and bound quickly over towards them and jump up on a stool next to them.
Okay. For the sake of theatrics, give me a performance roll on roll 20. So go ahead and type in, it'll be /roll 1d20, and then plus whatever your modifier is.
That came out as a 3.
Okay, all right, that's fun. So, Cecil, you notice a couple of crates that have sort of been stacked up off to one side of the inn, that sort of line up leading towards the table where your teammates are sitting down. You pounce very gracefully onto the first one, and with the momentum, you make a second leap onto the second one. However, in your efforts to razzle and dazzle, you don't notice that the second crate is actually partly open, and as you plummet into the slightly open crate, you are surrounded by the very strong smell of the sea as you land in a crate that is full of fresh fish. You fish yourself out, no pun intended, and make your way towards the table with your crewmates, slightly more aromatic than when you first entered the inn.
Okay, I would like to wave at everyone, hello, and then lick the fish off my paw.
Sure. All right. Okay. It tastes exactly like you want it to taste. Freshly caught just this morning. Right. As you come up to the table, the bartender appears again. Echo, one of everything. He places this very large flagon down in front of you. As you peer inside of it, you can see there's this almost solid tar-like substance that's very gently, for some reason, circulating inside the flagon itself. It also appears to be giving off a slight smoky vapor to it.
Perfect.
It smells-
Nothing. This is everything I trained for. Perfect.
Okay.
There's nothing in this tavern that I cannot handle.
Would you like to go ahead and take a swig of it?
Yes.
All right, okay. As you put your lips to the glass and heave it down, you realize, when you said one of everything, the bartender really did understand one of everything. You taste a variety of different flavors, including ale, beer, whiskey. You're pretty sure you detect the infamous and exotic Dragonfire ale mixed in there as well somewhere. And as you take a huge gulp and set it back down, you let out loud belch, and very, very small blue flames suddenly flicker out of your mouth as you do so. Yep, there was definitely Dragonfire ale in that. You see the bartender turning to you, Cecil. You want a sauce of milk for the cat?
I want to look up at the bartender because that's what's going to happen, and sort of in a macho sort of way to try and keep my dignity. I sort of
One saucer of milk, coming right up. And you see him bustle off. As you do so, the wooden doors of the inn swing open once more, this time revealing a more averagely proportioned shadow cast by the afternoon sun. And into the tavern walks the fourth member of your established crew. Hammertime, would you be so kind as to give us a description of your character?
Of course. So, you see a middle-aged man in his late 40s, early 50s. He seems to be wearing chainmail. I mean, you know him by now. The classic blue chainmail of his order. He has gray hair and a long beard. He's also missing one eye, like many of you, but he doesn't wear an eye patch. He leaves it on display, shall we say. He's also wearing his signature tricorn hat and has a cigar smoking in his mouth.
As you step into the room, Falx, you see the rest of your crewmates, and you start to make your way towards the table. Can you razzle and dazzle as you walk there?
Not so much razzle and dazzle, but I just walk into the inn, like I own the place, kind of. Look around, I'm content with what I see, and walk up to my crew. Sit down, look right at Gecko, and say, "Hey, it's time for you to pay me that drink you owe me."
Indeed. Slides my glass forward.
Let's see what this inn has to offer. And I down it.
You down the whole thing.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes.
Give me a constitution check if you don't mind. Just read it out for me because I've got other things on the screen.
I got a 9.
How much?
9.
Oh, we're doing really well today. Okay, fantastic. So that's not so bad. This is your first drink. 1 sec. Let me just make a quick roll. Okay. So as you down the drink, you've had your share of intoxicating beverages in the past, Falx. You immediately notice the wide variety of different flavors that have been mixed into this beverage. after you place the drink back down, you feel a certain, just a the slightest tinge of wooziness come over you, just for a moment. You tap your chest a couple of times and let out a belch. The belch comes out as a moderate plume of blue fire that sort of blazes in front of you for a moment before receding backwards into your mouth. Ah, Dragonfire Ale, the ice type, your favorite.
This is a good inn. I order 2 more.
Okay.
One for me, one for Gecko.
What'll
Spicy,
be
wasn't it?
the same thing again?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, if you can handle it. A sauce of milk clatters down in front of you. Cecil, not meat. A sauce of milk clatters down in front of you as well, Cecil. And ye, lassie, will he be having another one?
At this point, I move seats so I don't sit in front of either both of them, so that I don't get, the blast after their drinks. And I'll ask, just a fire ale, just a fire ale.
One Dragonfire Ale.
Yeah.
What's your preference?
Whatever you got, surprise me.
We got fairy, we got icy, and we got acidy.
Let's go with fairy.
Fairy is.
Yeah.
And he marches off to grab your drinks. As he does so, you notice an individual approaching your table, very plainly dressed. In fact, so much so he did not really stand out in the crowd earlier. This individual is a human, an older-looking human with white hair that sort of curls slightly as it comes down his head to form sort of a bowl haircut all the way around it, like this. He's also got a mustache that sort of comes down about this much and then curls upwards towards his chin again. Sorry, not a mustache, a beard. I was going to get to the mustache in a moment. He also has a white mustache that sort of curls like this inwards for him. He also, you notice, has the hair coming out of his ears appear to even curl as well. He's somewhere in his maybe early 70s, something like that. His skin is a little bit wrinkled. He's got a couple of warts with little white hairs poking out of them, of course, curling as well. And he's wearing a sort of dark, dusty trench coat with a belt, a large, wide belt that's sort of slung over it off to the side. He walks up to the table. The 4 of you glance upwards. Do you know that you had been sent here by the Cross-Tide Company to meet someone? A man by the name of Theodore. Excuse me. Theodore Whitebay. Good evening. Good afternoon. Theodore Whitebay, I believe you were sent here in order to perfect a transaction with me? Are you from the Cross-Tide Company?
Well, yes.
Depends. Yes.
Well, yes. All right. Okay then.
Why have a seat?
Yes, I will. I will. Thank you, my dear. As he sits down, he glances around. Weren't there meant to be more of you? I requested 5 individuals. And as he says this, the wooden doors swing open for one last time. And another short shadow, graced by the afternoon sun, appears in the doorway. Tornex, would you be so kind as to give us a description of your character?
Sure. So Peak Wildwander is a forest gnome, so he's about maybe 3 feet, maybe 3.5. Still not going to be the shortest person in this party. He has, yeah, I know, right? He has black long hair. He looks like he's been living a bit rough, so you can see he's got some dirt on his face. But I think the oddest thing is he kind of carries a ton of mundane items. He kind of sees things and he wants to acquire them. So as he walks in, a random bar of soap drops from his coat. He tries to pick it up and shove it back in. He's got like a saucepan hanging from the side. Just random mundane items. Pretty much looks a bit of a collector. And he carries with him a staff with kind of like an ornate dragon head at the edge of.
Okay. Peak, as you step into the inn, you reach into your bundle of items and pull out a letter. As you unfurl the letter, at the top is a small symbol that has a little boat on top of it, and there is the sigil of the Cross-Eyed Company written across it. You've been given instructions, seeing as this is your first mission, to meet up with 4 different individuals at the inn in order to speak to a particular benefactor by the name of Theodore Whitebay. As you glance around the inn, the first thing you notice is obviously the bustle and activity within the inn. However, you do notice the individuals off to the corner, and you slowly begin to approach them. Meanwhile, at the table, yes, I was told that there would be 5 of you. Anyway, whilst we wait for your crewmate, Theodore Whitebay at your service. I'm here in order to go on a particular expedition in order to acquire an item. How much did the Cross-Eyed Company tell you about this expedition?
Oh, is it your first time?
Ah, I see. Okay. Well, that's fine. I can I can give you a brief of what we will be doing. Peak, as you get up to the table, the others, you guys notice this small gnome walking up to your table. You have been informed that you were going to get another member of the crew joining you. You react in any way?
That seems like the 5th is joining us right now.
Hi guys.
And kind of, I raise my hand, so I'm guessing everyone's sitting down, so they can only see like maybe my head next to the table.
Sure, just a tuft of hair poking over
Exactly.
the tabletop.
I start to kind of take off my backpack and all the items.
I'm supposed to meet you guys.
And I guess I show them the letter. Yeah.
Sure. Letter comes down on the table, and you all notice the official sigil of the Cross-Eyed Company. Ah, well, the 5th has joined us then. Fantastic. Theodore Whitebay, and you are? He points at the corners.
Peak Wild Wander.
A pleasure to meet you, Peak. And yourselves?
My name's Gecko. Gives him another mug.
And my name's Falcon.
Cat, your turn.
Who are you calling cat?
You.
You know what happened the last time you called me cat? Let's not try it again. I stand up all proud, like if the stool is high enough to the table, I assume it's not. Is how high in relation to the table? The stool is quite low, yes?
For the sake of comic relief, we're going to say that it's high enough that your ears poke off over the top of the table.
Cool. Okay, so I want to jump on the table and act all proud like and introduce myself. I'm Cecil. Don't listen to him. I may look like a cat, but I'm more ferocious than you think.
At this point,
I met him.
yeah. At this point, I reach out my hand, and scratch behind the ear. 2 people from 2 sides going for it. And I turn
Okay,
around and I say, I'm Orcelia. Nice to meet you.
Wait, would your character be okay with getting burned?
Doesn't matter.
I was actually going to say that the scratch behind the ear feels really good, and my back leg sort of goes on the table. but I think as crewmates, possibly you'd know that behind the ear is the only spot that I'd allow for petting. Yeah.
I'd like
A
to.
pleasure to meet, Wolf. Oh, yes, sorry.
I'd like to address our new gnome friend, a new business associate. When the drinks arrive, I say, I never trust a man I can't drink with, nor a woman for that matter. So, and I place the drinks in front of both of you.
Oh, brilliant. Yes. So Peak immediately kind of, his eyes, they beam.
Oh, I approve. Yes, I saw everyone had a drink. I was about to, order one. So thank you.
Drink.
And this is the strong stuff, right? This is the concoction you guys created, right?
Yeah.
I kind of like side eye you and just like good luck.
Obviously he's got a way smaller, body frame than all of, well, not all of you, but the most of you, and you can see this, this concoction of an abomination of a drink you guys created, and
with the smoky vapor coming out of it.
I think he would try a sip first. He'll go for a sip first. He's not gonna, down it in one go. He'll go for a sip.
A sip will be
I think
that's fair.
Yeah. Awesome.
A sip will be fine. As the drinks come down, actually, the drink in front of you, Arcelia, is a little bit different to the muddy abomination that's been created in the other flagons. What you see, actually, the liquid itself is a very, very dark brown. However, as you look at it, it sort of shimmers in a orangey golden tinge to it. As you grasp the glass, you can actually feel a warmth radiating from it. And there's a smell of sort of like if you were down at the beach and you had just made a bonfire, that sort of embery smell, that smoky smell seems to be coming out of it. It's a drink that you have tried before and a favorite of yours.
All right.
Thank you all for coming. Like I said, my name is... Sorry?
Did he drink?
No, he hasn't drunken yet. But before we engage in intoxicating pleasantries, I just would like to give you a brief of what I'm hoping and what I'm expecting to accomplish. He sort of gives you a glance, Falx, and raises the cup to his lips and takes a cursory drink before continuing.
That's better, yes.
When I was young, I was part of a sailing crew, seeking treasure called the Treasure of Silver Pete. Our captain was a very good man. Captain Shelley had won a telescope in a shark-eating contest. This telescope was said to point towards the direction of this treasure. In fact, so much so that it was known as the Maiden's Gaze. However, this telescope, we went on several adventures. Perhaps I can entertain you and elaborate on them in the days to come. However, the crux of it is we experienced a very dreadful storm at one point. Our ship was attacked during the storm by a massive leviathan of the depths. Unfortunately, my crew were lost to this tragedy. And the telescope itself was, unfortunately, lost to the seas. This telescope was a curious piece in that I would watch the captain disassembling the telescope into pieces. It was in fact quite the miraculous looking device, coated with gold and embedded with small red jewels. He would disassemble it into small pieces and keep it within a red velvet cloth bag. Unfortunately, the pieces were scattered during this storm and during the attack. I have spent the majority of the rest of my life gathering knowledge on where these pieces might lie. Now I have come to a point where there is not much time left for me. And now that I have found out where all these pieces are as a final homage to my lost crew, I would like to find these pieces, put them together, and find the treasure of Silver Pete. I have no use for the treasure itself. However, it will be donated to the Cross-Tide Company should we be successful in our endeavors. To this end, I've reached out to the Cross-Tides and requested a crew in order to go out on this expedition, my final adventure at sea. And this is why you have been commissioned. Is this something worthy of your time?
Depends.
On?
Payment. It's in it for us.
I believe you are given your wages by the Cross-Tides. However, you are also, of course, welcome to a share of the treasure itself.
I'll go wherever my crew goes, but your story is touching.
Thank you. I
Likewise.
appreciate the support.
What do you guys say?
He glances around the table.
I look at him and I ask him, so how come after all these years you haven't given up?
Well, it has been a long journey, and there have been many troubles along the way. However, I have finally come in possession of the location of the last piece. And so, like I said, there's not much left for me to do in this world. And I would like to finally locate this treasure.
All right.
I will be coming with you on the journey. However, I do have one condition. Whilst, of course, I am sure that you are all trustworthy individuals, the treasure of Silver Pete is something of a legend that many believe does not exist. And I do not want to risk losing the chance to find this marvelous hoard. Therefore, I will be dispensing the information on the location of each piece after we have located the last one. That would also make me invaluable to you. You see why I would do this.
You seem like a frail old man. What if the worst were to happen? And in the middle of the sea would have nowhere to go because you, couldn't keep up.
Well, then you can cast my body to sea and receive your commission from your company, and wouldn't be any worse for wear.
My question is, why would you want to find the treasure if all you want is the looking glass?
The telescope is magical. When you peer through it, it is meant to point you in the direction of the treasure. I have never been privy to the telescope was kept by the captain, and only the captain would look through it. So I assume that there is some magic to it that allows you to see where the treasure is located.
And what was your position on the ship?
Me? I was simply a humble sailor.
So as you're explaining, Pete kind of like starts rummaging through his backpack, and he pulls out this very, small, broken-looking piece, and he puts it on the table. It's like,
This isn't one of those pieces, is it?
it's Monday, just to make it clear.
It's a what? Sorry, it's a.
Like a mundane piece of glass. It's not a telescope piece.
All
or
right,
anything.
okay.
He thinks it might be.
Because if it's a piece of the magic telescope, we could call it here, but I guess maybe it's not. How many
No,
pieces
no,
are we?
I'm
How many
afraid not.
pieces? How many pieces are there of this telescope?
That information, I'm afraid, is something I will need to disclose to you as time goes by.
So there could be like 2 or 100.
No. There are far fewer than that. Enough to count on one hand.
I look at my paw and I'm like,
One human hand. Are your paws
But,
like cat paws, or do you have opposable thumbs and everything?
So my paws are, I would say, very much resemble cat paws, but there are sort of a little bit opposable thumbs each to make it easier for him to hold things. But they do, at first glance, look very much like cat paws, but only after close inspection do you realize that there are subtle differences.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
So I okay. Now go on.
Let's say one of us is in possession of one of these broken items. What happens then?
Then we keep it on the ship and we go to find the next piece of the telescope.
And how many have you found so far?
None.
None at
That's
all?
why I need you.
You said you were attacked.
Yes.
By what?
A creature of the depths. It happened a long time ago, but I remember large, mashing jaws and humongous tentacles reaching over the sides of the ship before it was torn asunder.
Torn asunder.
Why would a
Yes.
creature like that tear your ship apart? Did you anger it?
I do not know exactly, to be frank with you. All I know is that we were in the middle of the most dreadful storm we had ever encountered before when this happened.
And if we were to go on this little jaunt of yours, do we run the danger of meeting this thing?
Well, you are all seasoned men and women of the sea. At least that is what the Cross-Eyed Company has guaranteed. So I would assume you would know how to handle it.
With a very fast ship.
Do you have a very fast ship? You do have a very fast ship.
Yes,
Hey,
we
she's
do.
all right. Yeah, she's
Alright.
all right, you know.
All right, one last question for you. Describe what happened when that happened to your boat, to your ship. Was there anything in particular that you've seen or that happened?
And were
Any
you the only
effects?
survivor?
Any effects in the sky? Any details that you remember from what happened?
This was over 40 years ago, laddie. I remember the skies swirling above us. I remember streaks of lightning crashing down across the surface of the water. It was a storm like none I had experienced before.
Okay. I'll go.
Okay.
Quick question, not to him, to you, Z. Does the Cross-Tide company give us a contract per mission? Like, so what he's saying that we get to kind of keep the treasure and all that, is that going to be in writing, or is this just we have to take him, by his word?
Basically, out of character, of course. The cross-site company, you get a wage, a salary for going on a particular mission. However, if you find any treasure which you submit to the cross-site company, you receive a portion of the treasure itself, and you also you are also elevated in rank, which means you would be then given perhaps more lucrative missions that would, reward you with even more booty.
Okay. Peak has one last question then for Theodore. He tries to lean forward, but obviously, since his height, he can't do much. But he tries to look a bit menacing, and he asks,
So, what is this treasure? What's in it? Gold? Gems? Art?
The treasure of Silver Pete is a legend. It's been passed down from deckhand to deckhand for several decades. It said that Captain Silver Pete was once one of the most notorious privateers of the uncharted seas, and that he amassed a treasure beyond the wildest dreams of any seaman or seawoman. I would assume we would find gold, silver, doubloons, and gems within it. But who knows? No one has seen it for over a century.
okay, yeah. Okay. I think Peak is I think he's finding it a bit curious that he's going after this telescope rather than the treasure. Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's doubting what he's saying, but he's just finding it a bit curious for such a person.
Make an insight check.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me an insight check.
And an 11.
11. Theodore seems like a relatively harmless old man, to be honest. He seems genuine.
Okay. So yeah, Peak leans back and kind of has another slightly larger sip from his drink. So he forgot the concoction he's drinking. And guy lets a bit of a slight big belch out.
All right.
I grab the cat and I just drag him away from the crossfire as the flames go right where Cecile was standing.
Okay. I am very, Cecil is very amused at the flames, but is somewhat annoyed at being manhandled like that.
If you hiss, I will put you in the fire myself.
I didn't hiss, but I'm going to ask a question, not to Theodore, but to you, Paul.
Sure.
In relation to something that I might have known from my backstory, Captain Redbeard.
Mm-hmm.
Would Captain Redbeard have heard of this treasure?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Cecil, Arcelia, Falx. The three of you for sure would have heard at least like a rumor, a seaman's tale, something spoken over tankards on a drunk evening about the treasure of Silver Pete. Mostly dismissed as sort of, everyone knows that there's this treasure that everyone talks about, but a lot of people don't really believe that it's a real thing.
There are hundreds of sea legends. Who knows which ones are true?
Exactly. He could be telling the truth. You do know for a fact that the uncharted seas are called that for a reason, and all sorts of adventure and intrigue could happen whilst out sailing. So he could very well be onto something.
Okay, so knowing this, Cecil sort of brushes himself after being manhandled like that, and faces everyone around the table and says, "Well, if we're going to be looking for this treasure, we better start looking for this treasure.
Give it
Shall
a
we
moment.
not?"
Let us just enjoy the afternoon. We ought to eat a little, ought to drink a little more. Then we'll set sail. What do you
Oh.
think?
You and your drinking. As long as you keep the flames to yourself. Remember,
I'm the one
this tail can get easily singed. Okay.
Listen, I'm as excited as you are to start, okay? But how do I know I can trust you?
Trust
Talking to you.
me?
No, not you. Z.
Theodore?
Yes, Theodore, sorry. Blacked out.
Well, you have no reason to. At the end of the day, I am offering a job.
All right, I'm in.
It is really up to you.
I'm in. But I will keep a very, very close eye on you.
As he says that,
I'll
I'd like
keep
to
my
jump on
wither eye
Theodore's
on you.
shoulder.
Oh,
You what?
Yeah, as he says that, keep a close eye. I'd like to jump on Theodore's shoulder and say, I can do that.
he sort of reaches up to pet you, but not in the right place. He looks like maybe he's not very familiar with cats and ends up trying to rub your belly instead.
I swipe with my paw.
Oh, uncouth creature. Right.
At that point, can I drag the saucer of milk that Cecile has barely touched and let Darcy off of my
Sure.
shoulder, where he was hiding, and let him drink from the saucer, and then look up at Cecile. Well, if you're not using it.
Ah, yes, good pigeon.
Sure. There's a quick.
Yeah.
Wait,
He sort of gargles the milk slightly.
Did you just call him a pigeon?
No,
Are
did
you
I?
really
No, I
that
didn't.
drunk? Not
He said,
you.
ah, yes, good
Oh,
pigeon.
At that point, like, Darcy just looks up at you and gives you the nasty eye, like gives you a real bad side eye, and just continues drinking. I don't even have to say anything.
Has Peak come across Cecile's race or not? Or are they not that in? Seeing that he's a druid.
They are not common in the slightest.
No, okay. So he wouldn't know like a special petting place or anything like that, since he's good with animals.
I don't want to say make an animal handling check.
That's
because
no.
categorizing you
Very, very, very wrong.
So
he wouldn't know. Okay,
give me
it's
an insight check.
An insight
Give me an
check.
insight check.
Oh, this is going to be
Yes.
horrible. I'm going to poke you in the face accidentally. 16. Oh.
Ooh.
Sure. You saw the way that Theodore initially reached for Cecil, and you're like, okay, belly is definitely not a thing. And so you saw her reach around, watching Cecil as your hand reaches around, trying to find maybe the head, maybe the ears. Does he find somewhere that's
Cecil
comfortable?
Yeah. Cecil sort of picks up a little bit, turning his neck sort of to get behind the ear, sort of easing him to that right spot.
I'm guessing you're still on top of Theodore though, so maybe I'm using my staff like I'm.
I was still on top of Theodore, yeah. So okay, staff.
So I'm going to move things along a little bit. You write an adventure, then they get stuck on the freaking cat. I knew it. Anyway, So actually, it's almost 9 o'clock. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break because Z needs to pee. And when we're back, we will compress time a little bit and move forward a little bit with the adventure. What we're going to say, in case you want to prepare anything, Theodore looks to you as this is happening and goes, "Well, perhaps we can set sail at first light tomorrow. I have a couple of affairs that I need to take care of, if that is accommodating for all of you."
That would work.
That's fine.
Good for me.
Bring your own hammock.
Yeah, can't wait.
Bring my
Sounds
own.
good.
Said bring your own hammock.
Could I have a bunk?
We barely have enough space for the goblins. You're not getting a bunk.
Of goblins?
You'll
Of
felt
course.
later.
Who else will clean the decks?
Don't worry. Bring
You'll be surprised.
it and you'll be
For
safe.
the record, you do not have goblins.
We do not? What?
And I will see you guys in 5 minutes.
Oh.
What happened?
Not the goblins.
You called cliffhanger a 5-minute break too.
tab,
but
and I got
I'm
three
sure
people open on it.
Don will let us know.
How many
Or
people? No,
something.
don't tell me how many people are watching because I freaked out last time I found out there were people.
Only about 50.
I don't want to know how many
Don't
people
worry.
are. No, don't tell me that.
All right, we're live.
Okay, we're live.
15? That's more than I had before. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, people again. Right. So, you spend the afternoon having a few drinks together. Now, before you set sail, is there anything during that day that you want to do to prepare before going out to sea?
I use mending to make sure, I go over the ship and I make sure it's ship shape, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I
All right.
I
okay.
definitely would like to go into my quarters and set everything up, make sure everything's in place, and meditate.
All right. Okay.
I also want to make
What
sure
sort
we have
of,
enough
sorry?
I also said I want to make sure we have enough supplies and stuff.
All right. Okay. So
I
let's go through that very quickly one by one. So firstly, let's start with you, Falk. So you go over the riggings, you check the hull of the ship, mending a few things here and there. You've already been on a couple of expeditions on the Tide Seeker, and you notice a few members of the crew wandering around. They are, of course, familiar with you, and there's a degree of respect as they address you. Afterwards, you have a talk with the captain, Captain Dane Windbreaker, and she informs you that you have enough supplies on the ship for a 2-month journey. Gecko,
Okay.
as you step into your quarters, what do you want your quarters to look like? It itself is a wooden cabin, and you have a porthole at the end that can be opened or closed. But in terms of the furnishing in the room, what does your particular cabin look
tapestries like lining the walls, carpets along the floor, kind of keep it like a good space for meditation and keeping myself in line with myself. Also, there is a small, no, not too small, hole in the floor behind one of the cabinets where there's a small
Okay.
wooden box that I keep, and as soon as I go in, I check and make sure it's there, kind of like looking around, see if there's anyone around me, just making sure it's there.
It's still there. All right,
Perfect.
okay.
Yeah, that's about it. It's just very simple. No bed, no like unnecessary chairs or anything else. Just carpets, tapestries. That's it.
You don't need any of these
Exactly.
earthly possessions to weigh you down. All right, okay. Siggy. Sorry, Arcelia. I'll start remembering to call you by your character names. Arcelia.
All
You were
right.
going to say something.
No. I was gonna say what I was gonna do before we entered the ship, but would you like me to?
Yes, of course. Well,
Okay,
you
so-
have the whole afternoon to prepare. So, you are nearby the City of Ages. So if you need to go and get any supplies or if you need to get anything from the harbor to prepare for setting sail the next day, yes, of course, you have more than
More-
enough time to.
More than that, I want to find Pipsqueak and ask him for a needle and some thread.
I think I'd have something like that on me, wouldn't
yeah.
I? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm just testing to see what you have and what you don't have.
Absolutely. It takes him some time, or maybe even a minute, rummaging through his backpack. He hands you a bar of soap that seems to have a bite mark in it, and then he finally pulls out this needle and thread, and
Oh.
hands it to you. Here you go.
Thank you. And I just scurry off to my room.
Okay. All right. Okay. I was waiting to see if you're going to elaborate. All right.
No,
Okay.
just that.
Just that. All right. Okay. Cecil, what about yourself? Is there anything in particular that you do during the afternoon in preparation to set sail the next day?
I would like to
Clean their litter box.
no, funny joke. No, I'd like to go walk around the ship, and eventually I'd like to go into the kitchen, and I'd like to sit in the kitchen, wondering if or when a chef is going to be joining us.
Unfortunately, at the moment, you don't really have a chef as such. Mostly, it's a couple of members of the sailing crew that come down here to prepare lunch. It's not normally the most appetizing of food. Mostly just some gruel on a plate.
Okay, so
You
knowing
definitely
that,
need. You make a mental note. You definitely need to get yourselves a chef at some point.
yeah. I make that mental note, and keeping in mind the usual, let's call it slop that the crewmates put together as food, I'd like to go to. Is there a nearby market?
Yes, sure. I mean, you're in the harbor. There's all sorts of trade going on
Nice.
at the moment.
So I'd like to go and grab myself a bag of goodies, and a couple of snacks that I enjoy, and to prepare them just for myself, not for sharing with anyone, but just for Sisu.
Sure. So you make your way down the side of the Harbor of Aegis, and the smell in the air immediately indicates to you your proximity to the market, as there's this rich aroma of fish and sea crustaceans mixed into the salty sea air. As you get to the marketplace, there's a lot of activity and hustle and bustle going on. And on either side, there are stalls upon stalls lined up with all sorts of produce that can be harvested from the sea. You step up to your favorite vendor, and he looks down at you and tells you, "The usual, Cecil."
You know me. Usual, please.
Sure. He wraps up for you two large silvery scaled fish in some brown paper and hands them over to you.
I say, I tell him to put it on my tab because I'm leaving and we haven't gotten the pay yet.
Right, I'll be seeing you when you step on land once more.
And I sort of tooting, and I will start walking back towards the ship.
Sure, okay. In the meantime, Pipsqueak, what do you do? Do you do anything in particular before preparing to set sail the next day?
I think Peak wouldn't wander into markets or anything. He always thinks that he has the right stuff on him. Doesn't mean he does. He just thinks he does. This is the first time he's going on this ship, though. So I would say when he gets to the ship, he'd want to kind of maybe get accustomed with the crew a bit. So maybe, pardon. So maybe he'll talk to some of the people and kind of walk aboard and have a look, where things are being held, and even ask Gecko, him being the captain, where if there's any rotas or routines around the ship, I guess.
Gecko's not the captain of the ship.
Oh,
so
my apologies.
No, he is Captain Gecko, but he's not captain.
He's Captain
of this
Gecko,
ship,
but not Captain of. Okay, see, that's what I got. Okay.
Right. So, just very quickly out of character, just to explain very quickly, the way the cross-site company works is, I think I had gone over this, but I'll just very quickly go over it again. You form a group together. In this case, the group was Gecko, Falx, Cecil, and Arcelia. And with your own ship and with your own crew, you basically register with the cross-site company, and the cross-site company will start giving you certain missions. Now, should the cross-site company feel that this particular group might require an extra member, such as in your case, they will commission you to join the crew. As you do step onto off the plank and onto the deck of the ship, Peak, a human dressed in admiral clothing, in red and gold and blue admiral clothing, steps up to you and tells you, "Good afternoon. I believe you are the newest member of our crew. My name is Captain Dane Windbreaker. Welcome on board."
Thank you. So what do I have to do around here? Do I get my own quarters?
Are you, and she sort of glances down at the paper, Peak Wild Wonder?
Yes, that's correct. And he pulls out the paper he got from the Cross-Tide company, kind of to show he is who he's saying.
A pleasure to meet you. Have you gotten your sea legs yet?
Yes, and he stutters for a bit. Yeah, I've been on a few missions with the company already.
Excellent, fantastic. Let me show you to your quarters. And she takes you below deck, where she takes you to a small cabin with a porthole in the back. It is modestly arranged. There is a bed off to one side and a small trunk placed in front of it. Off to the other side is a small chest of drawers and a hand mirror placed on top of the unit.
Brilliant.
This is where you can place your possessions. Should you need anything, please feel free to find me or find the bosun. Let me introduce you to a few members of the crew. And she begins to take you around the ship. She introduces you to the bosun Dave, who is a short, stocky individual who seems to have the run of the crew under his thumb. She introduces you to a few of the deckhands on the ship, and also to the two lookouts, two elf twins who sort of swing down simultaneously down the side of the mast as they come down to greet you and go, "Freako, Mako, at your service. Pleased to meet you. You're a little tiny, aren't you? Well, that's all right then. We'll be looking out for you."
Oh, brilliant.
Do you think he can look over the side of the ship? No, I don't think so. Mako, you shouldn't be talking about that. All right, okay then. And they sort of go up the crow's nest together. They're a little bit energetic and sort of like they can't wait to get out the next sentence when they speak to you, sort of thing. And yes, Captain Dane Windbreaker sort of takes you around the ship and introduces you again to a few of the other deckhands. Right, so if there's nothing else, we're going to compress time a little bit and move forward. You set sail upon the Tideseeker the next day. It's a beautiful morning as the sun is peeking just over the edge of the horizon, and the waters are crystal clear, perfect sailing weather. Theodore obviously joins you upon the ship. He is given his own cabin, by the way. He's not forced to sleep with the rest of the crew.
But
And
a hammock.
he did indeed bring a hammock because maybe he was a bit worried, or maybe he took you seriously about it, but he did bring a small rolled up hammock under one arm just in case.
Perfect. Tell him to set it up under the crow's nest.
He is given his own cabin upon the ship. All of your cabins, by the way, are located towards the stern of the ship, close to the captain's quarters. In general, the captain normally will have run of the ship. However, because the entire crew is is working under you guys, and basically when you guys receive your commission, are also paid as well. They sort of the captain will always refer to you on more important matters, but not normally nautical matters in general.
I
Yes.
specifically don't sleep in my cabin. I sleep with the crew.
All right. Okay. Sure. Of course, that would make a lot of sense.
The cabin, I keep it for like spiritual purposes. I have like a shrine in there to my god.
All right. Okay. Fantastic. So, as you set sail, you spend a couple of days on the waters. During this time, Theodore appears to be he appears to be in conversation with the captain, and sort of he appears to be giving navigational directions on where you are going exactly. I am not sure if any of you. I know you are, most of you are of nautical persuasion, but I don't know if any of you in particular would feel that your character would be involved in the navigational discussions of where exactly you are going.
I would say my character would definitely be involved.
I would say
That would
mine
make
would
sense.
be too.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So in this case, yes. You, anyone else before I move forward?
My character is clinging to the edge of the boat because he's not entirely used to this.
I'm just trying to. Cecil is just trying to keep himself dry.
All right. Okay. So during these 2 days of journey, Falx and Arcelia, you do frequent the captain's quarters a few times, as there are discussions between Theodore and the captain about where exactly you are going. And apparently the first place you are headed to is a small island called the Meek Dawn, where the first piece of this telescope would be located.
The Meek Dawn?
Yes. I will just post that into chat for you. 1 sec. Okay. So,
Okay.
the first 2 days pass without much trouble. Peak, you give me a con check. Give me a con check before anything else.
Do I really? I mean, it's a -1.
So you tell
An
me.
8. I got an 8. I got an 8. I rolled it for you, mate.
All right. Okay.
I
Then.
got an 8.
Okay, so let's say the first day's journey, you get a little bit seasick, sort of going over to the side of the ship, retching up a couple of times, feeling a little bit woozy. But by the second day, you start to get your sea legs a little bit. However, when the ship does tilt a little bit erratically, well, let's just say your tiny tummy doesn't really enjoy that. Meanwhile, Cecil, I mean, you're pretty used to being on a ship. So,
Yeah.
in general, you know your way around it and you're comfortable around it, and you manage to stay dry for now. So, as the third day approaches, you hear from the crow's nest, "Land ho! Port side!" You glance over the left side of the ship and you see off in the distance along the edge of the horizon what appears to be a tiny green blob, just quite far out to sea, maybe 2 to 3 hours journey away. Those of you on deck notice Theodore coming up on deck as well. "Ah, I believe that we have finally found the island of the Meek Dawn. The first part of the telescope is within our grasp."
It's
The
quite a
ship.
large.
Sorry,
It's quite
yes?
a large island. Do you have any idea where to pinpoint the artifact or whatever you call it?
Well, the island of the Meek Dawn is apparently a tropical island, and it has upon it these creatures that the person who told me this told me that it is populated mostly by land sharks, if you have heard of them.
Land
Alright.
Quite
sharks.
dangerous creatures.
Quite rare too.
They're quite dangerous creatures. However, we should be fine as long as we tread quite lightly. They apparently can feel the vibrations of the ground. So as long as we're very, very quiet, we should be fine. There's also apparently a sentient race that lives upon the island, but I haven't found much information about them.
All right. I turn to look at our cleric, and I look him up and down and say, "Well, we're gonna have a right good old time, aren't we?"
I think so. Are these sentient creatures hostile?
Not that my source has commented on.
Cecil pipes up and says that he's no stranger to tropical islands, you know, like this one, and just for this is the first time we've ever been to this island, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just to clarify. So yeah, so Cecil says that he says, "I'm no stranger to tropical islands myself, and I do suggest hearing about these land sharks. Gecko, you should tread lightly. You know, we know how what a big guy you are. So just be light-footed. You know, think like a cat."
They call me Twinkle Toes.
Oh,
Right.
that's what they call
So-
you. Okay.
Standing up now. Right, so as you begin, as the ship begins to bank around slowly, you start making your way towards Tropical Island. However, you notice off in the distance, actually, give me quick perception checks before we move forward.
Dun-dun-dun.
I got an 18.
I got 17.
Hmm?
Does passive perception count?
Yeah, if your passive perception is higher than what you rolled, go ahead and give me your passive.
I got a 17.
I'm
Yeah,
giving,
14
my,
for me.
you. Okay.
I'm giving you my passive, it's 20.
You're all right. Yes, all right. Okay. Okay, so those of you who rolled above a 15, you notice over the starboard side of the ship, off in the distance, the skies appear to be darkening slightly. Like, so in this, the rest of the sky is this clear blue with little white puffy clouds everywhere. However, off over there, if you're facing the island directly, this is off to your right. You notice, yeah, there appears to be like a black mark across the sky's horizon, stretching out. Maybe if you calculated like an index finger long.
Cecil pipes up and says, "Storms are coming. We don't want to be out at sea when the storms are coming."
I turn to the captain and I suggest like we better make anchor before the ship ends up drifting away.
Oh well,
I have
it
a
seems to be
better idea. Sorry, you were going to say something?
It seems to be a bit far out. We should be able to reach the island before it reaches us.
Okay.
Would Peak have any better understanding, seeing that he lived most of his life in the wild? Like, could he tell if it's going to reach us or not in time?
Because it's so far away, it would be difficult to tell how fast it is moving at the moment.
Okay.
If the storm catches up with us, I can always cast some wind to the sails and speed us up.
Ah, yes, that would be extremely useful. After about 5 minutes, you do notice that the storm appears to be getting quite a bit closer. Above you hear, "Storm ho!" coming from the elves above you. Yes, it does appear to be moving at quite a rapid pace towards you, where before it was 1 index finger long, now it appears to be 4 index finger longs, and you can clearly see the black cloud forming as it makes its way quite deliberately towards you. You also notice tiny little arcs of lightning reaching down from the billowing clouds and striking the surface of the water as it comes closer. However, one thing you do notice, those of you especially with high passive perception, or those of you paying attention, is that it appears to be very condensed in the way that it is moving. Like, it's not sort of like a storm cloud that has stretched out across the entirety of the horizon itself. No. This appears to be moving over a patch that maybe is a mile across or something like that.
But
it is also moving quite rapidly towards you. Sorry?
It doesn't look completely natural, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm trying to indicate, yes.
If the crew is okay with it, I'm going to put some wind in our sails.
All right. How are you going to do that?
I'm going to cast Gust of Wind. It's a 2nd level spell.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, sorry.
I'm just going to ask something really quickly. I can cast Druidcraft to find out about the weather, but I'm guessing it's not going to help us.
You can.
Would it help us seeing that it's this something a bit more magical, isn't it?
I'm going to disappear
this.
for a moment.
So, okay, no problem. Peak, you take a moment to calm yourself. You feel the breeze across your skin, and you tap into the natural spell weave that moves and twists around you, reaching outwards towards the skies above you. The tendrils of your sensory druid craft moving towards the storm cloud, inquiring in the most modest way possible, what are you up to? No response. This is not a natural thing, whatever is moving towards you. At least nothing within the skies is natural about this.
Okay. Can I relay this to the captain and the crew?
As you do so, you see the captain pale slightly, and she goes, "What do you mean there's nothing natural about it?"
I didn't feel anything natural about that cloud. It's there's something off about it.
Yes, it does appear to be a bit strange, doesn't it? We should make haste, and because he was going to do this earlier, you see Falx turning towards the sails, muttering a few words under his breath. Not sure exactly how he's going to do the praying to his god thing, so we'll let him role play that later. And a gust of wind begins to buffet the sails outwards, and you feel a surge as the ship begins to move with an increased speed towards the island itself. "We need to make land before that thing reaches us," says the captain. And you see the bosun at the wheel of the ship, sort of barking out orders to the rest of the seamen. Sorry, Sesson?
I said I second that.
Okay. Hammer Time, you back with us?
Yeah, sorry, I had to
Alex?
disappear real quick.
Cool, no problem. I went ahead and took your initiative on the gust of wind thing, and you are now moving at a fast pace towards the ship, towards the island. From above you, you hear the twins in the crow's nest calling out one more time, "Storm sharks!"
Uh-oh.
You glance upwards towards the crow's nest, and then outwards towards the storm. You realize that this patch of moving storm has come towards you at an almost supernatural pace. You can now quite clearly see the arcs of lightning arcing down towards the surface of the water, and because this is only about 2 to 3 miles away from you, you can see that as the lightning is connecting with the surface of the water, there's a brilliant flash of light every single time, and very clearly illuminated just below the surface of the water is these almost torpedo-like shapes that break the surface in a white fin that appears to be the center of where the lightning is striking. Now, before we go forward, I need to explain something to you guys. Have you guys ever heard before of a D&D skill challenge?
I have.
I have not.
Okay. So, for the uninitiated, for the, 1 second, someone's sending something. Okay. For the uninitiated, I am going to explain. Give me one moment. Let me grab the papers.
Sorry, storm sharks.
I know. When he said storm sharks, I was like, what did we just get ourselves into?
I have never
It
heard
reminded me of Sharknado.
Oh, yeah. Storm sharks. That is a new one in my book. That is, yeah. We'll see how this one goes.
I have words.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Arcelia has a familiar, doesn't she?
Yes.
I have a little pet bird. Well, little.
Okay.
As big as my face.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later.
why are you showing off the crow? Okay.
I was asking
so-
about the familiar.
All right. Okay. So, what a skill challenge is it is a timed challenge, which does not actually use which does not use combat mechanics. So, we're all rubbing our heads. It's so cute. So, a skill challenge actually involves a series of skill tests in which you as a group will need to decide who is going to make the who's going to take on the test. So I will present you with a problem, and you have time to discuss amongst yourselves in character or out of character, should you prefer. Actually, normally with skill challenges, out of character is normally much faster because you're being timed at the end of the day. And you must elect amongst you the person who's going to make the roll. So let's say, for example, I tell you something like, a knife flies towards your group. What do you guys do? You have a quick discussion and you say, okay, Cecil is going to dodge out of the way of it. Okay, Cecil will make an acrobatics check. He passes or he succeeds. This is not something I will relay to you. And then we will move on to the next test. So there's never going to be a moment where it's like, oh, we have to stop the challenge. You need to accrue an amount of successes in order to succeed at the actual challenge. But we will always move on to the next test. Tell me, Ziggy. Ziggy froze.
Acrobatics. Can you hear me? Because you
I can
are
hear
all
you.
frozen on my screen.
We can hear you. We can't see you
Yep.
moving.
Oh, we just
Oh.
lost her.
All right. Okay.
Oh no.
Let's give her a minute. Let's see if she can come back.
internet connection issue.
Yeah,
It's-
probably.
Did she say biotics before she left? Oh. Hey, she's back.
What's that?
Hello.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, we can hear you. What was your question? Sorry.
Okay. So if Cecile does an acrobatics check, can he do another one, or could someone else do an acrobatics check after that?
No, you will always give me one person who will make one roll to try and pass that particular check,
Oh, okay.
and then we move to the next check. And I will write down whether or not it was a success or failure.
so the
I won't
person that
actually tell
has-
you if it's a success
So
or
the
failure.
person that most likely will pass will do it for that turn.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's up to you guys.
Well, yeah.
Now,
I mean,
Now, there's a certain limitation to this in that if you've used your skill for a particular check, you cannot use that skill again for another
Again.
check.
Right.
So if Cecil decides to use acrobatics for the check, then Cecil, I hope you got your mileage out of it because you can't use that one again. Someone
Yeah.
else can use acrobatics for another check at another point, but not Cecil. So make sure that on a notepad or something, you're just marking down the ones that you've used. This is only for the skill challenge. We reiterate, it's only for the skill challenge. You're not permanently losing your ability to use this skill after the skill challenge is done. Okay? Now, apart from using your skills, your athletics, your nature, your acrobatics, your survival, whatever, you also have a couple of other options. The spellcasters amongst you can also use your cantrips. Okay? So let's say you have a firebolt cantrip, or you have a primal savagery cantrip, or you have a mage hand cantrip. You can use that instead of using a skill. And that will be your proficiency. So it will be a d20 plus your spellcasting modifier plus your proficiency.
all right.
And again, like with the skills, you can't use that again. Someone else can use firebolt if you've already used it, but not you.
Okay, cool.
Finally, the last thing you can use, again for the spellcasters amongst you, is your spells. Spells are an automatic success, but they do consume a spell slot.
Okay.
Okay, so this is even outside of the challenge moving forward. You've used up that spell slot until you regenerate it again on short or long rest, depending on your class. Okay? Now, the last thing about this, well, two things about this. Number one is that in order to make the skill test, in order to do the skill check or if you want to use your cantrip or your spell, you need to be using it in a way that makes sense. So if I tell you, for example, a massive oak tree starts crashing down onto you, and you tell me, okay, Peak is going to use Firebolt. I will tell you, no, that's actually not going to be possible because Firebolt is not powerful enough to do what you're asking it to do. I'm not going to automatically fail you on it. I'll simply tell you, choose something else that you guys can do. Okay. Number two is that there are a number of successes that you need to accrue. Again, I'm not going to tell you the number, but there's a number of successes that you need to accrue. But there is also a number of failures that you can accrue. And if you do accrue that number of failures, we're going to automatically stop the challenge. And there will be certain repercussions for failing the challenge.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, the challenge is a 20-minute long challenge. I have a timer in front of me, and you're more than welcome to set up your own timer. So I'll give you a minute if you want to set up a timer so you have an idea as well of what you're actually going to be doing.
Yes, please.
And we won't. I will tell you guys when we start it. So I'll give you a very brief description of what's happening just before we get going. Okay, everyone ready to go?
Yep.
As in, you have your timers ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So you see this this condensed storm cloud rushing towards your ship. As it passes by overhead, because it's like a mile or so across. The sun is completely blotted out, and you're cast in shade. You see streaks of lightning arcing down from the cloud and smacking against the surface of the water all around the ship. As you peer over the sides, you see several silhouettes just below the surface of the water, these shark-like silhouettes with white fins that poke out over the surface of the water. We're going to be starting the skill challenge in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so as the storm billows by overhead, there's a splashing sound coming over the side of the ship. You see this white form of a massive shark. You can see that the bottom of it has streaks of yellow across it. It's not the size of a great white. It's a little bit smaller than that, about the size of a tiger shark. It arcs over the side of the ship and sort of flies across the ship about 10 feet above you. As it's going by overhead, you hear a rumbling sound coming from the storm cloud, and you see a lightning bolt zigzagging down towards the shark itself. What do you guys want to do? Your first check.
Oh. The lightning is going into the shark. I mean, well.
Apart from like stare and astonishment,
Have a
We need
reaction.
to-
What you do with it is up to you.
Okay, so reaction.
I have a reaction.
Yes.
So I'm using gust of wind, which lasts for a minute to blow the sails, right? When he
Yes.
jumps into the air, can I just like quickly move my hand slightly to blow him off course, and then move it back into the sail?
Because you're concentrating on it, I'm going to say sure. That's fine. That's okay.
Okay.
As long as the others agreed, that will be your action for this check.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, are we happy
Yep.
with that?
Yep.
definitely.
All right, okay. Falk, you're concentrating your hands up in the air, buffeting, using the gusts of wind to buffet the sails upwards. As you see this shark suddenly coming into view over the side of the ship, you very quickly shift one hand forwards. There's a crosswind that sort of moves the shark. It sort of turns slightly with the wind and is pushed off course, moving back off the side of the ship. You watch the lightning bolt as it's coming down, and then moving off to the side as it follows the shark downwards towards the shore, and you hear a crack as it hits the surface of the water, and there's this brief splash of water as the shark re-enters into the sea. As this is happening, the storm cloud, which has brought with it also rain and wind, begins to rock the ship slightly from side to side. You notice a small collection of cargo, some crates and boxes that had been tied down, perhaps the rope loosened or something like that, beginning to slide across the surface of the ship. There are some sailors in the way. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I have really high. I got proficiency in acrobatics, so I could try to jump and
Same.
bounce towards them.
Same
but
here. I
don't-
have acrobatics +5,
I got
Yeah.
so I
plus
can
7.
dash.
Those
And
boxes
put
are gonna
people
crush
on
you.
the way.
Slay.
We can. I don't mind.
I have a,
Let me do it.
You do it, you do it, you do it.
You're a cat, so big boxes, heavy. So I'll do it. I'll dash towards the other sailors and try to push everyone out the way.
Would that be acrobatics or strength?
That would be an athletics check if you want
Okay.
to do that, Gecko.
All right. Well, +3, so still
How much did you get?
5 in total. Yikes.
Noted.
Wonderful.
All right, okay.
Ooh, hit you with a notice.
As you run towards the crates, run towards the crates, you see two of the sailors turning around in horror as these massive wooden boxes are sliding across the deck towards them. You run in front of the crates, looking extremely confident as you reach out with just one hand. Pretty sure you can stop these three large boxes moving towards you. Apparently you can't, as one of them shatters against you and the momentum of the other two pushing you backwards, and you sort of trip over backwards as one of the crates mounts on top of you and boom, keeps on going past you. It's fine though. You get yourself back onto your feet and you look around for the next problem. As you do so, you hear from above you, rocks! As you peer over the side of the ship, you can see there are a couple of jagged rocks as you're getting closer and closer to the island. The rocks from the seabed have started to, create some dangerous terrain. What would you guys like to do about that?
It would make sense to try to steer the ship away.
Someone get on the whale.
So what would we need to check?
Yeah.
Because I'm on deck, so I'd have to dash towards the...
How far is the wheel? Like, is no one close enough?
You've got the bosun up there who's trying to navigate right now.
Okay.
You could attempt to assist him in some way.
What would be the skill check on that?
That's up to you.
All right,
If we,
There's a beauty of
This
skill
might
check.
be
You tell
stupid.
me how you're going to help.
This might be stupid, but I could use step of the wind. I can use if I use it, I use one key point, and my moving distance is twice the speed for this turn. And I move twice.
Unfortunately, the class abilities don't count for the skill check. Though. That would be a cool idea, but unfortunately, class abilities don't count for the skill
I was
check.
about to
about-
ask.
Think of something
I was
else.
about to ask. So I'm guessing. So my wild shape is out of the question.
I'm afraid not. Class abilities don't count
So-
for the skill checks.
Okay.
Okay. Would it work if I go up to the bosun and with my athletics help him steer and like push down the wheel to steer the ship? Would something like that help?
That's definitely an option. Yes, sure.
Okay. Is everyone okay with that? Shall I roll?
Yeah, go for it.
Just one question. While she's doing that, can I grab like some of the ropes for the mast and like start turning it or anything like that? Turn the sails quicker than they are.
That would have to be. You would
Oh
have
my.
to tell me.
Okay, let's do this bit
I-
first. Forget me.
Really quick.
For the sake of it, I don't know what you rolled. Don't tell me what you rolled because at this point you haven't taken a decision on what you're rolling yet, because the others are still discussing. So it's fine.
okay.
Don't worry. Whatever
Okay.
you rolled doesn't count.
Good.
That's good.
Really
You
quick.
guys are still discussing. I don't want to know what the role is. You guys are still discussing at this point because it
Perfect.
has to be only one check. I'm afraid.
Really quick question. How do you add the multipliers on the modifiers on the roll itself?
Or you
Space
just do like
plus the
plus the number, whatever it is, like +3
So-
or whatever, if you want to test that quickly. But just so that you know, you guys have 12 minutes left.
Yeah. Not a
Um,
lot.
Like
Can I
like
go
this? Or
Can I go help the bosun navigate, please?
Yes, do it. Roll for it. Roll
Yeah,
for it.
do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Go for
Do
it.
it.
Okay, then roll.
It's just saying unrecognized command.
Oh my
And avoid
fucking
the
god!
plus.
So, what?
Tell him, go
Tell
on.
me, tell me.
It's the
I rolled
same.
it.
Same.
I rolled a 2 earlier when it wasn't supposed to be a roll, and now I've rolled a 3, so that makes it a 4. Oh, a 5.
Five.
Fuck. You know what?
5. All right, okay. You dash up the side of the ship towards the upper deck. You can see the bosun struggling with the wheel as the wind begins to buff it further, even with the efforts of Falx the cleric. You get onto the other side, trying to help him push the wheel to navigate past the rocks. However, as you do so, you hear as some of the timber of the front of the ship smacks against one of the rocks. Overhead, you see, from the side, you hear another splash of water from the other side of the ship, and you see another shark flinging itself up. As it goes over the top of the ship, it gets caught in the rigging, in the ropes that are hanging down from one of the masts, and sort of tumbles down onto the ship itself, covered in rope. It rolls around on the deck in front of you, and as you watch, you see above you another lightning bolt begins to arc down towards this shark that is now on the deck of the ship. What do you guys do?
Whoa.
I got a crossbow.
I've got a javelin, but I can also, if Paul allows it, I can cast Entangle. But that normally requires some sort of ground. So, but depends, how maybe the wood is. I can actually,
To point out, the shark itself is not the threat right now because it's tangled up in the rope. It is more the lightning bolt that is flying very quickly down towards the ship that is
Okay.
Right.
Lightning is attracted to any kind of metal, right? So can we throw like a dagger or a metal up into the air?
Throw a metal. You want to throw a metal?
Can I could throw my javelin out into the sea, but that's not going to stop lightning.
No, I think someone has to throw the.
Can I kick the shark out of the way?
Kick it, okay? You're going to use strength?
Let me just check my character sheet real quick.
Oh man, what do you do to stop lightning?
8 minutes left.
Oh,
So
8
used
minutes.
to go away.
I will point out very quickly that the last time when Falx pushed the shark off, the lightning bolts did follow it off of the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, I could,
Shark. Just someone go kick the shark off.
Yeah, go kick the shark.
I'll
Yeah.
kick the shark.
That
Just
would probably
kick it
be an
off the ship.
athletics check if you want to do that.
Athletics.
I just rolled an athletics for the massacre of the ship.
I can roll an athletics check. It's got a plus
Should
3.
can we all roll?
Oh dear, we're all using
see
up our
who's doing it?
athletics.
Who's got the highest
Sorry, what?
athletics
Yeah,
bonus?
I have +5.
I have +4.
Yeah, it's gonna be
You guys
Gecko.
have to decide who's making.
I'll
the
do it. I'll do it.
It's gonna be Gecko with +5 for sure.
Didn't you use
Didn't you
athletics
already-
before?
He
I
already
thought you used
used
athletics.
athletics.
You've
yeah.
already used that.
Oh, yeah.
Gecko, you can't
Yeah.
I
use
used
athletics again.
acrobatics. Or athletics.
No, you.
Nope, that was athletics. I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
Never mind.
I'll kick
Wait.
the shark. My idea.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead,
+4, yeah.
Falx.
Just kick it in the face.
Just kick it off the ship.
Hey.
Ooh.
Nice.
What did you get?
15.
15. All right, okay. You rush up to the shark. It snaps at you with his jaws. You jump back for a moment. You notice his tail flailing away off to the side, outside the rest of the rigging. You very quickly grab it by its tail, spin twice in the circle, and haul the creature off of the ship just in time to see the lightning bolt just go by you so close that it actually singes your hair as it goes and follows the shark off the side of the ship.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
really big move.
Okay. The floor of the ship appears to be getting more and more slick with the rain that is beating down on the sides of it. All of a sudden, you hear a shuddering sound, and the ship moves tilts slightly off to the side. As you all rush to the side of the ship and peer over the side, you can see in the water a much larger silhouette below the surface of the water. It appears to be moving away from the ship and then turning around and moving at full speed towards the side of the ship. You can see a fin far larger than the fins of the other sharks, breaking the surface of the water, white as well. It's moving towards the side of the ship. It appears to be about to ram it again. What would you guys like to do about that?
I think the best thing to do would be to embrace or brace for impact. So could that be a survival check?
That would not be a survival check. That would normally be an athletics check, something like that.
Athletics. Okay, how about acrobatic? Would you accept acrobatics?
Not for that. That would be an athletics check.
Is there nothing we can do?
Acrobatics is more about tumbling and moving dexterously.
Is lightning happening as well with this, or is this
There
just
is
the
no
creature?
lightning at this point.
How
It's just a
large?
creature.
How large is the creature?
You'd say, from what you can tell, because it is below the surface of the water, but it must be at least 20 feet long.
Okay, no.
Okay, sorry.
I was gonna ask. I can cast minor illusions. Is this a scenario where I can cast something to distract it in the water? But I don't know how intelligent this creature is.
If you can think up something interesting enough to distract it, that might be an option.
Shoot it with a crossbow.
It's either that, or I don't know if this would work, but I have dark vision up to 60 feet, so I can have a clear look of what it is, how big it is, where it is.
Unfortunately, dark vision doesn't let you peer below the surface of the water.
Yeah.
It
Water,
also
okay.
can actually help you beat the challenge.
This shark is attacking the boat, right? It wants to come after the boat.
It's moving towards the starboard side of the ship.
Right. I can only make minor illusions, so the best I can do is make floating driftwood close by, so maybe it tries to bite the driftwood rather than the boat.
Can I
By its time.
give you an idea? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
This might not work, but this looks a lot like the thing that our friend at the inn, Theodore, was talking about, right?
No, that I would have thought was more like
No,
a
this
kraken
looks-
sort of thing.
To clarify, this looks like a giant shark. This looks like a giant shark. Basically.
So not what attacked Theodore.
No tentacles.
All right.
Can I
Can
try
we
shooting
throw-
it?
What?
I'm sorry, I heard two different things. I didn't.
Wait, do we
understand.
have gunpowder? Do we have barrels?
I got a crossbow. Can I try shooting it in the eye?
To answer your question, Gecko, yes, you do have cannons. However, that would be an attack which you cannot do during the skill challenge. And same thing with you, Arcelia. Unfortunately,
Can we-
you cannot make attacks during the skill challenge.
Could we throw food overboard? Rations? Maybe that entices it to go for it.
Oh no! Wait. Animal.
I'd say that would be an animal handling check, for example.
Animal handling. Yeah.
You want to go with that? That's
got a
also
cat.
an option.
We've got a cat on board.
I'm very low animal handling, so you guys are gonna have to do
You
that.
are an animal.
I know, but my animal handling is low. Okay.
Are you
Okay,
like one of those pets that doesn't this is a skill check. Anyway, go on.
Tornix,
Not
what's
2 minutes left, guys.
what's your bonus?
Do we have
It's +2 for animal handling.
Do we have oil on the ship?
Oil.
Yeah.
It's
Why
not a
would you
skill
have
check,
oil
though.
on the ship?
Why would we have oil if we have
It
cannon?
wouldn't
We
be-
need oil to lubricate the cannon and clean it.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. Sure. Fair enough. You probably have some oil somewhere on the ship,
Can't we just
but
throw
you probably don't have time to go looking below deck for it.
Yeah, no, we've really got no time at all.
Okay, so
That's-
my suggestions would be either a minor illusion or we can throw.
We
some
have to.
form-
We have to. Try it.
Try it.
Fine. All right. Okay. I'm gonna cast a minor illusion that looks like
Now,
driftwood.
that is a first level spell or a
It's a cantrip. It's a cantrip.
Oh, can you
That's
make
well.
it look
So
like a
I need you
person
to roll it.
rather than driftwood?
I can make
Or a
it look like a
dead
person.
person.
Or a dead,
Yeah.
a dead
A
a
person. Yeah.
driftwood that looks like a dead person. Got it.
There
Yes.
you go.
Do it. Do it.
All right.
Quick.
Okay, I
Quick.
need a d20 roll with your spellcasting modifier plus
Yep.
your proficiency bonus.
Ooh, that's a
Ooh,
long
ooh.
roll. My bad. 2 seconds.
Oh boy.
I have to make this manual.
Oh,
So wait, can you repeat that? Proficiency bonus and
and your spellcasting modifier. So in your case, your wisdom modifier.
yep.
10 seconds, by the way.
That should be it. 15?
Oh, all right. Okay, and with that, the last roll of the skill challenge.
Oh.
Did the shark?
15.
Did the shark do anything?
So, as you concentrate downwards, in the water, this small creature that looks like it has 2 arms and 2 legs, but it appears to be made out of wood. You got a bit confused and frazzled when you were trying to cast a spell, and so you attempted to create a human that was made out of driftwood. You see the silhouette of the shark breaking straight through your illusion and ramming against the side of the ship. As you all brace aside for impact, you hear coming from the other side of the ship, "Ah!" Sorry, I can't do Wisconsin scream. That's as close as we're getting. And you see one of your crew members flying over the side of the ship. There's a brief from the other side, and you see splashing water. As you dash to the other side to try and rescue your crewmate, all you see bubbling up from the murky blue is this red plume of liquids that sort of stabilizes and spreads outwards as it reaches the surface of the water. You hear coming from the upper decks, the bosun, "Don't worry, he was just a binge rat. Let's just get out of here. Folks, more wind."
I don't have time to think, so I continue the stream of wind to the sails. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Sure. You double your concentration on your spell, pushing the ship until finally it breaks out of the storm that is following it. As you look behind you, you can see the red liquid settling upon the surface of the water just behind the surface of the ship. You break out of the storm cloud, and all of a sudden rays of sun illuminate the deck of the ship once more. You glance upwards and you can see the storm cloud still hovering over this red patch of liquid in the middle of the ocean as you make your way towards the island of Meek Dawn. And we're going to take a 5-minute break there. Because, yeah, we are way over the time. And unfortunately, you have failed your first skill challenge. But don't worry, there will be many, many more to come. But you did pretty well. You needed 3 successes, and you managed to get two successes, but you accumulated 3 failures.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Wait, you're sorry? I made a floating piece of driftwood that looks like a person for nothing.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. But it was not the idea that didn't work, Myron.
Oh no, I know,
The
I
idea was
know.
fine. It was the role for the very last check was
Oh man,
had a very
the
high
time
risk.
pressure. The time pressure.
I know. It's part of the fun of skill challenges. So I really love running.
Could I ask?
Breathe,
though,
Ziggy, breathe.
like, all right, so you have the sharks, right? And they're attracting lightning. But we
Yes.
said that metal attracts lightning. How much iron do those sharks have in their body?
A lot
Like-
of cannonballs.
Yeah, like how
Honestly,
much iron
honestly,
to
I haven't
attract
really
lightning?
considered that particular part of their anatomy, but I would say a lot, I guess.
So
I mean,
what,
at that point,
what
if you try to
what
hit them-
Siggy is saying, we need to forget the quest, go mine these storm sharks, right? And then
And
sell,
sell
sell their skills.
Exactly. exactly.
Profit.
I mean, with the amount of iron in their blood, if you hit them, you're gonna break your hand. Like it is
Probably.
just pure iron.
Well, we need is like a gigantic magnet.
You know what? Next
I mean,
time you
okay,
get
guys.
like,
Peep probably has one.
oh yeah,
somewhere.
somewhere. Yeah. Oh, at this point,
I'm
wait,
glad
are
you
we?
guys enjoyed the storm shots, by the way. Those are my own invention. Are we
Yep.
still live, by the way? I
Yes,
don't
we
know.
are.
Wait,
Yes,
wait,
we
wait,
Still
wait.
live.
we
Oh,
are.
all right. Okay.
Wait.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Before we go to break, yes, go.
At this point, I had my hood on, right? I take off the needle and thread that I borrowed off of Pipsqueak, and I say, "Thanks. I don't think I need it anymore." And I just give it back to him. As then, like, I walk away, and you just see like holes in my pants everywhere, just ripped off, like from when I was trying to navigate. Like, there's no hope for these pants. I'm just gonna throw them away.
Oh, and by the way, all of you guys are absolutely drenched because of the storm.
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, obviously.
Wonderful. Cecil is in a bit of a bad mood.
Yes. Okay, guys. So it's about 10:15. We will convene back at 10:20. Okay, so go have your cigarettes, go have your pee breaks, whatever, and I will see you guys in about 5 minutes.
All right.
away from the thundering and billowing clouds. Oh dear, I had the Twitch thing open and now I can see myself and that's really distracting. Close that. All right.
Huh?
So as you steer away from the thunderheads overhead cast by the storm sharks, you make your way towards the island of Meek Dawn. You manage to ground yourselves ashore. Actually, no, you wouldn't, because there's a large ship. So this is a point, actually, where you get to decide if you want to bring anyone with you. You can bring with you at this point Freiko or Mako. As we progress further and further along, you might have more people that will join you when you go off on a little land expedition.
Wait, or?
Would you like to bring? Yes, just one of them for now.
Aren't they a set?
No, unfortunately. Normally, yes. However, because this is only the first mission, you get basically one follower to join you.
Okay, did any of them get hurt?
Freiko.
No, they're both fine.
Okay.
I say Mako.
I mean, apart from that one, the bilge rat who got eaten.
Who are we taking with us, Freiko or Mako?
Wait, why not take the dude that actually is looking for the treasure?
No, I got
We
Sorry.
will get to him in a moment.
Wait.
Okay.
Sorry.
Who else do we have on the ship?
You have a few sailors, and you have the captain and the bosun, but neither of those guys leave the ship for island expeditions.
What are the
I'll say Mako.
for Flaco?
Mako.
Okay, let's go with Mako then if everybody's going Mako.
Right. So Mako, just so that you know, is an archer. So he will provide backline defenses should you need them.
Good.
Theodore approaches you as you get ready to disembark off of the ship. He takes out a small piece of parchment, and you can see that he's scribbled a very rough outline of the island. Here in the center of the island is where you will find the first piece of the telescope. Apparently, this sentient race think that this piece of the telescope was something given to them by a god or something along that flavor. So you might have to negotiate with them or find another way of acquiring it.
Do you have any information of what language they speak?
Well, they live quite far away from the central hub of the New World, so I would say that most probably they don't see much in the way of trade and commerce going
So
on
native
here.
tongue, pretty much.
So
It's okay.
probably yes, but we are only 3 days journey away, so there might be some of them that have met some of the people from the New World before. You might be lucky.
I say we take some extra rum rations with us for trading.
Extra rations. I was just going to say that I can sneak in, grab the thing, sneak out.
Oh, there's that.
There is that. I mean, who's going to suspect a cute little cat?
I mean, if you get naked, maybe you'd look like an actual cat. Okay.
And I'm thinking as well, if these are worshipping a small piece of glass, then I don't know how much they've actually seen of magic. So we could easily pose ourselves as the new gods for them as well.
True.
I kind of like
I mean, do you have a piece of glass in your belongings?
Yes. We
Oh,
You
yeah.
can
switch
bring
out.
with you and say, look, we have one as well.
I do. I have random pieces of glass, I'd say.
Perfect.
And I have a
bring
number.
everything.
I I have a number of spells on me, like minor illusion, that just makes minor effects. I can make, flowers blossom and stuff like that. So
Good.
I can put on
have
a show. I can
I
put
have
on a show.
information for you once we get there. Just bring it with you.
Okay.
I'll say you guys are discussing this as you're on the rowboat making your way towards the shore, by the way.
Is it? I have one question. Is it daylight or is it nighttime?
Oh no, it's around about the middle of the afternoon.
Middle of the
afternoon. The sun is overhead at the
Okay.
moment. Okay, so as you guys breach onto the sandy shores and step off of the small rowboat, you can see a white sandy shoreline that stretches out on either side of you. In front of you, about 30 feet away, begins the perimeter of a line of tropical trees that make up the bulk of this island. You can hear from where you're standing various chitters and squawks of the indigenous wildlife living within the tropical jungle. Unfortunately, I have no music or audio, so you're going to have to imagine that. You are currently 6 people, just to reiterate. You are the 5 of you, and also Mako is joining you as well. As you start making your way towards the tropical forest, you can feel the heat of the sun beating down on you. You can see across the shoreline there are these small bluish green crabs that are sort of skittering up and down the sand. And as you step inside, the palms of the trees overhead are enough cover to shut out most of the sunlight, which is in a way kind of relieving. However, inside the tropical forest itself, you can feel certain heat that is happening from the rays of the sun that are sort of cooking the top of the trees and increasing the heated humidity within the forest itself. As you step through the bramble and undergrowth, what is your marching order? I mean, who's in front, basically? Who's in the middle? Who's at the back?
Me and Falx up front.
Yeah, I can live with that.
The smallest ones in the middle.
Can I be? I'd like to be sitting on one of someone's shoulders. Can I
you
sit
can
on
be on my
Gecko's?
shoulder.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll be on his shoulder, Gecko's shoulder.
Perfect.
I'll be right after them, with Darcy right on my hat, like perching on my hat. Darcy's my bird.
Peep and Mako next to each other, kind of like behind, like right next to, right next to
Me?
Yes, I keep forgetting your name.
Arcelia.
Arcelia, yes.
So my name is Arcee. My bird's name is Darcy.
Perfect.
Okay.
I didn't notice that till now. Oh dear. Was that
Imagine.
Was that a happy coincidence, or did you plan that?
I kind of planned that one. Proud.
All right. Okay, Beak, where are you standing?
It sounds like I think I'd try and stick in the middle, but if everyone's moving forward, I can like be the one at the back. So checking everyone's 6.
You can stay in front of me. I can stay with Mako at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
As you
At this point,
yes.
can I? Oh, sorry. Can I let Darcy fly before us?
I was gonna say that.
Yeah. Can I just let him fly before us? See if there's any danger. Like if any danger is back, he'll come back to us.
Normally, I would say yes. However, because you are moving through this sort of tropical undergrowth, you do have a lot of trees that are in the way that would make it a little bit difficult for Darcy to navigate properly. even though he does have some experience with you at sea and everything, he's not the sort of bird who enjoys being in this more enclosed sort of space. So it might be a little bit dangerous for him to do so. So he just sort of perches on your shoulder.
He's on my hat today. Sorry.
Just a quick question. Because Pete spent a lot of time in forests and also on the road, he has a high aptitude for survival. Can he notice? Would he notice anything that would help the party traverse this jungle a bit easier?
Depends. You have a spell or something that can help you out here, or are you talking more about something you would like Peak to do physically, or something?
I would say following the instructions that are being given to us, and also looking ahead where we're traversing to, and noticing the nature surroundings. I'm talking maybe more around like just being cautious,
Finding your way.
Yeah. Just making sure that we're not like, if I notice that we're moving towards into, dangerous vines or anything like that, or possibly, who knows. So I'm just trying to notice these things before we head into them.
I would say yes, that'd probably be a survival check. However, you probably want to be at the front of the party in order to be doing that, not at the back.
True. Can I let them know once they step into the quicksand? I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm happy to kind of jump to the front and keep, my eyes peeled. Are you guys okay doing that?
Yeah,
all right,
go for it.
Why don't you give me a quick? Sure. Why don't you give me a quick survival check?
Okay, I scurry off. You can hear like a bunch of stuff jingling in my backpack. A 6.
6. All right. Okay. How so?
Well, would he make it known what he's doing?
I mean, he seems to be just scouting ahead a little bit. So, if you know a way that you could help him out, sure, why not?
I can't think of anything other than survival to help us. But yeah.
Don't you have a guidance spell? Guidance cantrip?
No, I don't.
All right. Okay. Never mind. All right. Okay. So, Peak, as you step forward, you notice the trunks of the trees. These are not native species that you recognize. However, it feels nice to feel back at home, surrounded once more by nature. The bramble sort of scrapes against you as you make your way through the forest. You feel a little bit lightheaded after 3 days on that floating vessel. Finally, your feet are back where they're meant to be. You're a bit enamored about being where you are at the moment, and even though you do try to keep track of where you guys are going, you're more fascinated with the different creatures that you see flitting through the branches. You notice a couple of multicolored monkeys jumping from tree to tree, screaming loudly as they chase each other through the treetops. You see different sorts of birds of every sort of iridescent and colorful plume making their way through the jungle foliage. As you guys step forward, for a moment, you're sure that you feel the ground shift slightly underneath you. You glance downwards, Peak. It seems like the leaves, for a moment, seem to be settling back down onto the ground.
Settling back down, as in like there was a gust of wind?
Something like that, yeah. Like they appear to be just fluttering back down onto the ground again.
Oh. Um. I kind of raise my staff up a bit of a signal, like to stop the march. Like,
There is something off here. Quite sure what though.
and I start looking at the leaves. Can I kick the leaves with my foot?
Sure.
Yeah.
They buff it out of the way.
That's fine. Okay.
Normal leaves.
Since I'm sitting atop Gecko's shoulder, can I make a perception check to see if I saw anything or see anything with this
Sure. Go for
gained,
it.
Gained height advantage?
With the height? Sure. Do it with advantage.
Oh, that's 20 plus.
Oh, nice.
I think
Power of my shoulder.
I don't think I'm going to get a higher roll, so I think we'll stick with
Well,
that
no. Okay, so I'll say that at the same time that Peak seems to pause for just a moment, you notice, Cecile, the leaves all around the vicinity appear to sort of raise up for a moment about an inch above the ground before settling back down again.
Okay.
You also notice above you the palms and the leaves within the trees all seem to shake just for a moment, ever so slightly. It puts you off, though, raising the hairs on your back.
Yes. Okay.
Of which there are several.
Yes, there are several. Since everyone is kind of concerned with looking towards the ground, I will also point out that we should look up because I also noticed the leaves above us moving. So I point that out to everyone to not just look at the ground.
As you're all looking around, now actively trying to figure out what was that just happened, I'd like you all to make quick perception checks for me as you take a moment to concentrate and peer around at your surroundings.
I got a 12. Did you say if our passive is higher, we use the passive?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so make that a 14.
So am I rolling again?
No, yes, because this is a separate event.
How?
Okay.
Wait,
How?
perception, right?
Can someone look at my roll?
Yes.
How is that possible with a +4?
Yeah, that I think that just glitched out, to be honest.
That did, yeah.
Can I re-roll that one because that doesn't make sense?
Did you make sure to type in /roll?
Yeah.
No, Siggy, you made a mistake on that. There's a full stop after the.
Can I
20.
re-roll?
Yeah, of course.
Nice
That-
one,
I
Fallow.
don't know why that.
I wish I had a mistake as well.
So much better. So much
I'm
better.
blind one.
Oh,
Actually, no, it makes more sense. Cecile, we'll keep your roll from the previous one.
Okay.
Because it's still the same skill that you're using right now, and you're still paying attention. You didn't stop paying attention technically, so we'll keep that one. Right, so everyone above a 15, you are the first people to notice this, but the others, you do notice it after a moment. So everyone above a 15, you notice, you feel, firstly, beneath the soles of your feet, or in Cecile's case, you feel through the shoulders of Gecko a slight rumbling vibration coming from the foliage-covered ground below you.
Explain to me how he felt it through my shoulders and I didn't.
Well, I would say he's smaller and probably more sensitive then.
Yes, I am.
Also, the higher up you are, the more likely you are to feel when something's moving, if I understand physics correctly. Probably not. I don't understand physics very well, so we'll move on from that. So anyway, you feel a slight rumbling sound coming from the ground beneath you. You notice all of the leaves suddenly shifting upwards and then settling back down, and the leaves and palms above you vibrating slightly as the very trunks of the trees move for a moment.
I think we should take cover.
I'm gonna just climb a tree.
You're going to climb a tree?
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Did you say it was 15 to feel this sensation on the roll?
To feel it first. The rest of you feel it after a few seconds.
Oh, okay.
So everyone felt it by now.
Yes.
I duck and cover behind the rock.
It's coming from the ground, right? So if you go higher up,
What I'm guessing it is, obviously, sentient creatures. If they are what
land
I'm
sharks.
thinking they are, no, not land sharks.
As you are standing around debating, at the very moment that you or Celia say land shark, you feel the ground once more moving beneath you. This time, no roll is necessary as you all sort of brace as you feel the very ground beneath you shifting slightly. This time, it's not a single rumble. It keeps on going.
Okay.
You see the leaves rising up a few feet above the ground and sort of move as the ground beneath you begins to vibrate. It feels a little bit like a minor earthquake, and it seems to be intensifying.
Okay.
I'm a climb a tree.
I too am going to climb a tree. I'm going to
I'm
jump
gonna
off
go-
Gecko's shoulders and climb up a tree.
That's acrobatics, right?
Okay. Athletics, actually.
Oh, can it be acrobatics?
Can
No,
I
I'm afraid climbing is athletics.
turn into one of the monkeys I saw and jump onto a tree quickly?
Oh my god.
You can indeed. That would also be an athletics check. Use a dexterity modifier of +3 for that, please, Tornex.
+3.
I got a 13 on my roll.
It would be an Arthur having the
So-
worst time.
Is it just +3 with also my athletics +3 or
With,
just
with your proficiency.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. So it's a d20 plus your proficiency +3.
Okay.
So I got a natural 1 plus 2. What does that get me?
You stay with me.
Cheers.
In the middle of the road.
Let's die together.
Cecil, I'm just waiting. Oh, right. There's your roll and Tornex.
So yeah,
your roll as
I'm
well,
writing the
please.
whole thing. So you said +3 plus my proficiency, and that's it.
Yes.
Yep. Oh,
Yes,
okay. So
yes.
okay, gotcha.
d20 +3 plus your proficiency.
Yeah.
Alright, so at this point, me and Falx are just like standing in the middle, just like doing nothing.
I mean, apparently so am I.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm just
Okay.
not climbing a tree.
Yes. For the sake of consistency, I'll find out what you guys are doing now, and then we'll play it all out. So, Falx, what are you doing right now?
I basically duck and cover behind a rock and cover myself with random foliage from around.
All right. Okay. Sure. And actually, give me a stealth check for that, please. Meanwhile, Gecko, what are you up to?
I like grip my quarterstaff a little bit harder, and just like stand in the middle, just like act like a merchant just passing by, just like
You're
standing.
trying to look as unintimidating
Exactly.
as possible.
Exactly. Kind of like a guinea pig
Alright.
for the rest of, the crew.
Okay. Meanwhile, Mako, who is most at home up in the trees, is also going to climb a tree. So, what happens is this. The rumbling continues to intensify. Cecil, you turn around, leap gracefully onto the trunk of the tree and skitter upwards to one of the outlying branches. Eek, As you spin around, you spot one of the monkeys. Inspired, your form shifts. You become smaller. Green and purple fur sprouts out of your body. Your face elongates slightly, and simian nose appears on your face. Your eyes become small and pupilless and black, and a prehensile tail sprouts out of the base of your spine and curls around you as you begin to skitter very quickly up the tree. Arcelia, noticing your friends running up the tree, you turn around, grab the closest branch, and begin to haul yourself up. However, unfortunately, the branch snaps and sending you straight back down onto the unfortunate peak. Both of you tumble to a halt in front of Gecko, who is standing there trying to look as unintimidating as possible in the middle of the forest as the entirety of his crew have abandoned. Pulse, meanwhile, you duck behind the tree, grabbing some palm fronds and shifting them over you in order to try and blend in with the rest of the foliage.
That was brilliant.
Do I grab
rumbling-
Peek by the tail and drag him along with me?
Give me a second. No, actually what happened was you fell onto him and you both tumbled across the jungle floor and landed in front of Gecko. Meanwhile, the rumbling sound, which has continued to intensify, causing the ground below you to shake and tremor, all of a sudden appears to come to a peak, no pun intended, as the ground in front of Gecko, Peak, and Arcelia bursts open. A hole of about 2 meters in diameter suddenly forms, and out of the hole springs this monstrous-looking creature. It has a sort of bullet-like head. The under part of it is this sort of vanilla cream colored, and on top it is a silvery blue color. It has 2 little yellow eye slits on either side. You see massive hulking shoulders digging out of the ground on either side as large jagged claws hold the creature out of the ground. Its skin itself seems to be of a hardened carapace sort of texture, and it appears to have just above its head 3 fins that poke out of the back of its spine and move down the back of its neck. Show you a picture. The creature that you are facing. Unfortunately, I cannot show this to the people at home, as far as I can tell. So,
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Well, damn.
This thing is quite large. In fact, its head is about the size. Its head itself is about the size of a human. So as it pops out of the ground, like I said, it does create quite the hole. And as it rears up out of the ground, spotting you, its jaws open up, and there's a loud that comes out of it. You notice a long red tongue that sort of curls out of the jaw and appears to be wrapped around a creature. The creature is holding on to the top of the jaw and using its legs to push the bottom of the jaw, so it's sort of suspended in between, standing in the middle of the jawline of the creature, of the land shark. The creature appears to be humanoid in nature. It has greenish blue skin. It has a long nose, long pointed ears that sort of flap downwards to its sides, and it appears to be wearing some sort of tribal garb that's wrapped around it. It's also about 4 feet high. It's a goblin. It looks at you and just screams in panic. Roll initiative!
Okay.
Jesus. Okay, roll initiative. Wow. My rolls are incredible, huh? They're just either mediocre or shit.
Nice roll, Myron. Are you taking note, Z, or do we tell you?
I will need you to tell me. I'm just finding a spare page. There we go. Right, so when you give me your initiative, please give me your current AC and HP. If you happen to be using a shield and you have it out at the moment, go ahead and give me the AC with and without your shield, please.
Okay.
Okay, so mine, my AC is 14.
Oh, let me just check. So initiative 21 plus? No? Okay.
No one.
20? No?
I got a 20.
You got a 20.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Peak, you go first. Give me your AC and HP, please.
AC is 13, HP is 15.
Thank you. Anyone else 16 to 20? No, 11 to 15.
I got an 18.
You got an 18.
I got
Fabs.
12.
Okay, AC and HP, please.
AC is 18, but I have a shield, so without the shield it's 16. And my HP is 24.
Okay. Are you currently using the shield?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I got a 17.
You got 17, Gecko. Okay, your AC and HP, please.
AC 14.
Mm-hmm.
Max HP 24.
4. Okay. Anyone else 16 to 20?
I got a 12. Oh,
You got
sorry.
it. All right. No, that's fine. You got a 12. Siggy, what did you get?
An 11.
Okay, so let's see. Firstly, Cecil, give me your AC and HP, please, buddy.
AC 13, HP 21.
13, 21. Okay, and Arcelia,
AC
AC
14.
and HP, please.
AC 14. HP 21.
21.
Oh my, the tank.
Okay, and Mako is Mako is last on the initiative list, by the way.
That's okay.
Okay, so just so that you know, the current initiative order before we jump straight into combat is Peak, Falx, Gecko, the Land Shark, Cecil, Arcelia, and Mako. Okay, so
Okay.
Peak, you are currently on the floor, about 10 feet away from this creature that has just burst out of the ground. This land shark creature that possibly is possibly the land shark creature that Theodore spoke about. You can also see this goblinoid form trying to escape from the jaws of this massive bullet-shaped monster. What would you like to do?
I'm still an ape, right?
Yes, currently. Do you want the ape stat blocks?
I already have them open just in case. Or
Nice.
is it okay?
All right, thank you.
The problem is this: I can't cast spells as an ape.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
We-
technically, you're a monkey, but we can use the ape stat block.
I can bring up the monkey stats if you want.
No. Ape is fine.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'll have to kind of get rid of my into wild shape because my spells are going to be way more effective. That's what Peak would think, to try and
Probably.
get the situation under control. So Peak, I would say, he shakes off the wild shape and his cloak reappears and he's looking back to normal. I think the first
Sure,
thing
you shed the purple and green fur sort of flutters off of you.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think the first thing I do is this shark on land, as in like it's not close. It's not hanging on the hole or anything. He's actually grounded now.
He is poking about halfway out of the ground as initiative started. So about half of his body is out of the ground at the moment, and he's sort of hauling himself out of the ground with his front legs.
Okay. I think, yeah, okay. Peak is gonna cast Entangle. He wants vines and weeds to come out from the ground and try and wrap around this creature, just to immobilize it. So whoever else needs to do what they need to do, which is kick ass, they can do it.
All right.
Yeah. Just to confirm, this is.
Okay. Do you have spell slots for that?
I do.
Have spell
Yes.
slots for that, right?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I do. So far, the only spell I've cast was Minor Illusion and Druid Shape. Druid Shape is its own, like, 2 small spell slots.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. No problem.
Just to confirm how large this creature is, because Entangle is in a 20-foot
This counts
square.
as a
so, like,
large. This counts as a large creature.
Okay. So I
it's
should
enough
be
to
able to
entangle.
entangle. It's okay. Fantastic. Okay. So what do you want me to roll? Should I just roll to cast Entangle, or is there anything else?
Nothing. It needs to make a strength saving throw. I've just rolled that.
Okay.
What is your DC for that, please? Well, it
It's
fails.
12.
It probably fails.
12.
Yeah, it fails. Okay. You place your hands down on the ground. The ground below you ripples, almost like water. You feel the spell weave bending below your fingertips, and you sense the tendrils of nature energy moving through the ground towards the creature. There's a moment where you see the ground around the creature again ripple. And then vines, grasping vines, thorny vines burst out of the ground, wrapping around the land shark and pulling it downwards so it's sort of immobilized against the ground. You see parts of the vines also ripping around its head, causing its jaws to snap back shut. And you hear from inside the mouth. Okay. That was your action.
It definitely
you
was.
Have movement if you'd like. You had to use half of your movement to get up, but you still got about 15 feet of movement left if you'd like to move off to the side or something.
I think I'll try and get to the side of it. I don't wanna, you said I'm like 10 feet from it. So I just maybe reposition myself. So if I get another round and I attack or do anything, I can like try and hit it from the side.
Okay, sure. You skitter off to the sidelines. All right, Falx, you're up next. Gecko, you are after. Falx, what are you doing?
Has it? I mean, I'm still hidden, right?
Yes, 100%. It has not noticed you in the slightest. It is far more focused on your 3 crewmates at the moment and whatever creature is stuck within its jaws.
Cool. I want to get out of my place of hiding, and I point my mace towards it, my warhammer. Sorry, and I utter a few words in a primordial tongue, and as I do so, a sliver of blue light starts coalescing around me, and then around my warhammer, and it shoots out right at the creature, and I cast Guiding Bolt at first level.
Go for it.
Let me just check this.
I believe you are doing this with advantage, if I remember correctly, because it is currently restrained. Yeah, you have advantage on this. How much is that to hit?
I'm just checking. Uh, 20 unnatural.
Okay, that hits. Roll damage.
$14.
It's a lot of fucking. Sorry, it's a lot of damage for a first level spell. All right.
A lot of damage.
Also, next
All right.
attack,
Okay.
next attack against this creature has advantage, but because it's already wrapped up, I guess
It's already restrained. So, but if it does manage to break free before someone else lands an attack, yes, then or makes an attack, then yes, next attack would have advantage. All right, okay. So this blue glowing light emanates out of your mace and then streaks towards the creature. As it impacts, there's this dull ding against its hard carapace, and you see part of the shell indenting slightly as the spell hits home. It growls at you through restrained jaws. Echo. Oh, wait, sorry. Falx, are you moving away or anything, or moving closer to it? What is your current positioning?
Actually, after I shoot off the guiding bolt, I charge.
You charge towards it. All right. Okay. You get. You have enough movement speed. You get right up in front of it. Echo, what are you doing?
All right, so I'm gonna try and save the creature in its mouth. So
okay.
I try as quick as I can while it's still on the floor. I assume the creature is still in its mouth, trying to like push it open.
You can hear the
Right.
creature going from inside.
Like I'll try my best to try and make it open its mouth back, like tap it on the nose with my quarterstaff or something. And
Just to give you an idea, its mouth is closed because of the vines, which are covering its entire body. So you might have to pull away the vines from its jaw instead, which would require a strength check.
I'll try doing that. Actually, can I cut the vines?
If you have something to cut,
I do have a short sword.
Yeah, you can make an attack on the vines. Sure, I'll allow. Go for it.
So what's that? D20.
D20 plus you're a monk, so you're proficient with 4 short swords. So D20 plus your dex modifier plus your proficiency.
Plus dex plus. That's it. 10.
10. Sure. That should be about enough. You rush up to the creature and make a quick shing along the side, close to the jawline, slicing away a few of the grasping weeds and vines that are keeping the jaw of the creature itself closed. You see the jaw trembling for a moment as if the creature, the small creature inside, is trying to open up the jaw again. However, for whatever reason, it's not yet able to open it up. And we'll get to that in a moment. You still have your bonus action, but I don't think you can do anything with that. But you could do some monk things, I believe, with bonus action.
Some monk things. Let me see.
Yeah, you can make a bonus. You can make an unarmed attack as your bonus action with a monk if you've already made an attack. If you want to try punching it or kicking it or headbutting it or something like that.
Nah, I'll just move slightly to the side of it, just like waiting for an opportunity for it to open its jaws.
Okay, all right. Okay. As you move off to the side, it's going to go ahead and take its turn now. Cecil, you're up after the land shark takes its turn.
Okay.
So, the land shark, you see the yellow eye of the land shark following you, Gecko, as you sort of duck away to the side, and you see its jaw turning towards you, very rapidly opening as it tries to take a bite at you, which is going to do so with disadvantage because it's still currently restrained. So that is, oh my God! You are so lucky I did that with disadvantage.
Wait, can I do something else
So
now?
No, this is its turn.
Oh, okay.
It's taking its turn. Okay, so that is a 26 to hit. Yeah.
Holy moly.
God. Yeah, because it rolled a 19 and a 20. So I'm taking the 19 because it's with disadvantage. Right, let me just roll the damage on that.
Sounds like it's going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah.
It is a lot of damage.
Don't worry, I have cure wounds. It's all good.
Cure wounds. Yes. Sew my body back together.
Well, it was nice knowing you guys.
So that is 39 damage.
What?
What? What the hell?
Because it,
Ow.
You remember we're level 1. You know we're level 1.
yeah, I know.
We're
Okay.
3. Level
Yeah,
3.
I know.
Level
We're
3.
level 3, but
No, you're level 3. You're level 3, not level 1.
we might
So that is 39 damage. So I'll just explain what happens. So you see the large bush-shaped head suddenly turning, snapping around, almost like a snapping turtle or a shark surging out of the water. The jaws opening up wide. As they open up, you see the goblin creature inside. It sort of hops out, bumping into you, Gecko, and sort of rolling off across the floor. As you turn around to see what the creature is doing, you don't notice the massive jaws looming behind you, reaching down towards you and snapping down on your side. You are about halfway covered by this creature, and it sort of raises its head up and slams you down on the ground, and you lose consciousness for a moment as you take the damage. You are currently knocked out. That is its turn.
Great.
That would
Cecil,
have almost been one shot, dude. Like, wow.
it did roll really high, admittedly. Cecil, you're up next.
Okay. I'm scared
Okay.
to follow.
We're gonna run
No,
away.
Now everyone's
it's
gonna be
got serious
Okay.
now.
Back to the ship.
Okay.
Back to the ship, guys.
Okay. Okay, just to clarify with you, Z. The feats that we chose at the beginning are in play, okay?
Yes.
Okay, no, good. Just no, because I have a dual wielder feat, just to make sure that it'd be okay to use.
Yes, of course,
Okay,
100%.
So, I being up in the tree, would I be able to sneak attack?
Yes, because you have allies within 5 feet.
Awesome. Okay, so, I would like to sneak attack with both of my short swords.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's totally fine.
Cool.
I tell you what, give me an acrobatics check. If you roll well, I'll let you have advantage as you fling yourself off of the tree, okay?
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Mela. Here comes acrobatics. Well, that's a 9. Okay.
So you land on top of the creature, however, it does notice you. You've still got sneak attack though, because you still have allies within 5 feet.
Okay,
So
awesome.
go ahead, make the first attack.
So, that's a dex for short sword, right?
Oh, technically you still have advantage because it's still restrained.
Okay.
Yeah, short sword is your dex plus your proficiency.
Yeah, that would be
in your
13.
case. 13 to hit. 13 does not hit your. Wait, did you roll with advantage or not?
No, sorry. Second roll is a 12. So it would happen to 13.
13 does not hit, I'm afraid. Your short sword bounces off the hardened carapace. You still have your bonus action though.
Yes. So this would be the other short sword.
Mm-hmm.
Nat 20 plus 3.
Ooh.
Roll that damage.
Okay. Mela. So, remind me,
This
that
is a
is...
crit, no?
Yes. So basically, short sword is a 1d6 damage. So you're going to roll 1d6 plus your dexterity, which I assume is plus 3 right now.
Yep. It is.
Okay, so it's 1d6 plus 3 plus 1d6 for the crit, plus your sneak attack, which should right now be 2d6, but you crit, so 4d6. So in total, you're rolling 6d6 plus 3.
Plus 3, yep. So those 66 come up to a total of 26 plus 3, which is 29.
29 damage. All right, okay. Hey, you guys can do big damage too, okay?
Just a quick question.
Tell me.
Because I have fancy footwork as a swashbuckler,
Mhm.
that can take an effect now, right? So if I make a melee attack against a creature, or that won't be a melee with the finesse weapon with it, or it would be.
No, it's still a melee attack.
Okay,
Remind
so-
me, fancy footwork does what exactly?
So during my turn, if I make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make an opportunity attack against me for the rest of my turn.
Oh yeah, sure, that applies, yes.
Okay.
I mean, technically, its draws are full with delicious gecko, so
Yeah, okay.
it wouldn't be able to do so anyway.
Okay.
All right, okay. So your first sword bounces off of the creature. You look around quickly. You notice its yellow eye glaring up above you as it thrashes around your friend. You very quickly hop off to the side, bringing your second blade around and sinking the tip of the sword straight into that yellow pulsating
Nice.
eye. It lets off a as red blood spouts out of the eye. Okay. It is that hurts it a lot, by the way. And Arcelia, you are next. What would you like to do?
Hello. So I grab my crossbow and I'm right in front of it, right?
Yes, which means if you're going to make a ranged attack, that's done with disadvantage. No, because you're 10 feet away, so that's fine.
Okay. I wait for it to so it just shouted because it's in pain because Cecile so I'm gonna just aim right in its mouth and shoot.
Go for it. Do so with advantage because it is still restrained.
Or wow, advantage, right?
Yeah.
I don't count. Oh, I think there was a typo there.
Sorry, what?
Her first roll, I think there was a typo. It didn't actually roll. It just printed out 1.
Oh.
Yeah, you must have made a mistake again.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a space
1d20,
between
there's no
1 and
space
D.
here.
Yeah. All right.
18
There you
plus
go.
attack bonus.
18 plus your proficiency and dexterity, please. No, I mean, but that hits anyway, regardless.
2.
So go ahead and roll the damage
Plus
on that,
6.
please.
So that would be. Oh. Voila. That is 1d6 plus 2.
Actually, you're adding your sneak attack to this, so it's 3d6 plus 2.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, I know how rogues work very well. One of my first players played the rogue and didn't know how to sneak attack until the 5th session, so
That's a 12.
I've learnt the mechanics. Tell me how much?
That's a 12 total.
12 in total. All right, okay. Okay. So, as you take a moment, line up your shot, you wait until the creature is within your vision and fire off a bolt towards the creature. The bolt flashes through the air and you see it embed itself inside the warm, slimy red tongue of the creature. It immediately tilts its head upwards and Gecko, your unconscious form, goes flying off to the side, crashing down in front of you, Falx. And it is currently bloodied. Now, for the people who haven't played with me before, I use the term bloodied because I don't like to use numbers to explain the health of a creature because I feel that breaks immersion a little bit. So bloodied means that the creature has reached its halfway point on its health. Okay, so it is currently missing at least half of its health. I will also tell you when it is severely bloodied, which means it be close to dying. But it is currently bloodied. Okay, finally, Mako is going to go ahead and make his shot. You see him unslinging a little U-bow from behind his back and lining up an arrow. And let's see. Oh, he does. Oh well. All right. Okay. Unfortunate. You see the arrow coming out, being knocked in the bow and firing towards the creature. However, it shifts its bullet-like head away at the last second, and the arrow shaft snaps against the head of the creature. We go back up to the top of the round. Peek, you're first. Falx, you're up next. What would you guys like to do? Peek.
Okay. So I see Gecko, like, he's on the ground, or is he still in the jaw?
No. He got flung and he rolled to a stop next to Falx.
Okay. Is he dying? Do I notice if he's dying?
There's blood coming out of him, so mechanically he would be making death saving throws on his turn.
Okay.
He's bleeding out at the moment. Yes.
If I use any of my spells, something like Healing Word or anything like that, will that help him stabilize?
That will just bring him back up. It bypasses saving and brings him back up at once.
Okay.
Any sort
And
of
the
healing
shark.
spell.
Okay, I'm just kind of checking what options are. And the shark, is it completely free from my vine?
No, not in slightest. It's still restrained. It didn't use its
Still
action to try and
restrained.
free itself. It needs to use its action to try and free itself. Otherwise, it remains restrained for the entirety of the spell, which is 1 minute.
Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna remain, remain keeping concentration because it's one of the things I need to do, as far as I'm aware, for Entangle.
Yes. You cannot cast another concentration spell. You can cast other spells, just not a concentration spell.
Yes, very good point. Okay, good. So I'm gonna cast Healing Word as a bonus action. And I'm gonna,
That will instantly bring Gecko back up.
So I speak a druidic word underneath my breath, and point my staff at Gecko. Do I roll how much health he gets back, or you're just gonna how?
You do indeed. It's Healing Word, if I remember correctly, is a 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifier.
That is
just
correct.
Need to confirm.
Yeah, it is correct.
Yes. All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna click on some stuff. You're gonna hear a few bings. So Healing Word, and it rolled a 6.
Oh, the full healing. Nice. Okay. There's a brief moment as the natural spell weave curves around you, Gecko, and you waken with a start. And looking down, you see some of the. On the other side. Right now, by the way, if you've ever seen a shark victim, with the sort of jawline that comes down the side like that, with the several teeth embedded. The teeth marks embedded inside you. That's kind of what it looks like. You have blood pouring out of them, but you see the wounds beginning to heal, the flesh beginning to stitch and mend itself together as your druidic companion casts Healing Word upon you, and you awaken with a start. That's your bonus action, Peak. You still have your main action, which you can use to do several things, but if you want to cast a spell, it can only be a cantrip because you've used your bonus
That
action
is
to cast.
correct. Falx, the weapon you use, is it a one-handed hammer?
It's a warhammer, so it's versatile. But right now I'm holding it in one hand. Yeah.
Okay, what is the damage die on that?
Give me a sec. It's a 1d8.
Okay, so if I cast Shillelagh, that doesn't do anything because that just turns it into a 1d8 again.
Unfortunately, the way that the spell Shillelagh works is that the caster has to remain holding on to the weapon itself for the spell to continue working.
Yes. You are right. Okay.
Sorry, I know too much about this game.
No, you're spot on. You're spot on.
Don't be sorry about that, Z.
I'm honestly at a loss here. I want to cast some stuff, but I don't want to waste my spell slots just like that.
Well, you wouldn't be wasting a spell slot because the only thing you can cast with your action at this point is a cantrip. So those are all free.
No, I'm aware of that. I'm just realizing that the stuff that I have for cantrips are just supports for other players, not much for myself. Like the illusion, stuff like that, if
You
that
have
makes
a
sense.
ranged weapon that you could use.
I could, but I will have to swap it because I'm holding a quarterstaff right now.
As part of your action, you can draw a new weapon, but in order to do so, you
Okay.
need to drop the staff to the ground.
Yeah. All right, let's give that a go. All right, I'm gonna drop my quarterstaff and I'm gonna pull out the javelin. And I'll cast. I can't cast Shillelagh and attack, can I?
No, because that consumes your bonus action. Shillelagh
Yeah.
is a bonus action.
That's fine. I'm just gonna throw the javelin then. I'm just gonna
Go
throw
for
the
it.
javelin. Just you know, in the
Javelin is your strength, plus if you're proficient, which I think you are, your proficiency.
Yep. Okay. So that's +3. Yeah, Peak's just like not sure what's going on, so he just does what he can. A 9. Oof, terrible.
I'm assuming there's a wooden sort of javelin. But
Yeah, with a metal tip.
druidic nature.
Yeah.
Sure. The javelin comes out, flies towards the creature. However, in the panic and confusion of the moment, after having just brought up your companion, you misjudge the distance and the javelin comes down just maybe a couple of feet in front of the creature itself. Okay, Fox, you're up next. What are you doing? Fox, I can't hear
You're
you.
muted.
Sorry, so I moved up my last turn. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to smash it in the back of the head. Right. So let me just make the roll.
Gecko, you're up after Fox.
That's a 16 plus 4 to hit. So 20.
That does hit.
Nice. Sorry. Oh, that's nice. 10 damage.
All right, okay. You bring your warhammer swinging round over the top of the shield. It smacks into the side of the creature. You hear the carapace shattering slightly as it takes 10 bludgeoning damage. Okay, you still have your bonus action and movement if you want to do anything else.
I basically just want to place myself between the creature and Gecko, who's like still recovering.
Sure.
So if it attacks anyone, I'm the one who has its attention at the moment, hopefully.
All right. Okay, Gecko, you're up next. You have to use half of your movement to pick yourself up. So, but you still have about 15 feet of movement left. What would you like to do?
All right, so obviously stand back up, you know, grab my quarterstaff, kind of like push myself up a little bit, look at myself, just say, "This is only a flesh wound, fine," and kind of like slowly walks away, just like walk away.
Right, okay, you're backing up a little bit from the creature.
Yes, please. Also, what is
okay,
my
no
current
problem.
HP after the healing and everything?
6. You're at 6 HP right now. All right. Do you have any ranged attacks or anything that you'd like to do to give support to the party from the distance?
Not really, no. So I really cannot. Apart from dodging or getting out of the way, then there's nothing else I can do.
All right. Okay. No problem. Completely understandable. So you take a few steps back, a little bit startled by what just happened, trying to recover yourself at the moment and just take a deep breath. Meanwhile, the land shark is going to take its turn. It turns to you, Falx, with an evil look on its face, as part of its carapace sort of like cracks and falls off of it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make the bite
Good luck, my
attack.
friend.
It is doing so with disadvantage because it is still restrained. Well, that's a 6 or a 15. So the 6 plus the modifier, so 13 to hit. 13 does not hit. It snaps towards you, Fax. However, with your shield, you duck underneath, and the jaws slam against the shield itself. You push it backwards. Cecil, you're up. What would you like to do? Arcelia, you're next.
Nice. Just before I say what I do, can I just clarify something with you?
Yeah.
Does cunning action give an extra bonus action in addition to my bonus action for my turn?
No, you only have one bonus action per turn, and only if you have something that can use a bonus action.
Okay, cool. So I am going to once again
But basically,
both my short
things like a dodge, disengage, and hide for the rogue, you can do them as a bonus action, where most people would use them as a main action.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go once again, double short swords at this dude.
Go for it. Make the first roll. You're doing so with advantage.
First roll. That's 1. That's 2. Both of them are 12, so we'll take a 12.
Plus your modifiers. No modifiers or anything. 12.
No, that's total 12.
Okay, unfortunately, the first attack whiffs as your first short sword slams harmlessly against the carapace. Not
Oof.
quite enough force to pierce the hardened outer shell of the creature. Go ahead and make the second attack with the bonus action.
That's 1. This is 2. Okay, so 23.
23 hits. All right, okay, go ahead and roll damage on that. You still have sneak attack because your allies are still within 5 feet. So it's 3d6 plus 3.
So that is 3d6 is 12 plus 3, 15.
Okay. It is very bloodied.
Cool.
Arcelia, what would you like to do? Arcelia, you are muted.
I'm still in front of it, right? Can
Yes,
you hear
indeed.
me? Okay. All right. So I
Well, you're
reload
10
my
feet away from it.
Yeah.
You're far enough away to make the ranged attacks.
yeah. I reload my crossbow. I aim steadily, and I shoot it right, like up its jaw, like its upper mouth, like up towards its brain. Do you get what I mean? That's where I'm aiming to try and kill it.
Go for it.
Or-
Go ahead and make your roll. Remember, you still have advantage because it's still restrained.
Okay, so. So I got a 15. Does that hit?
Unfortunately, that does not hit. You take a moment, wait for your shot. However, at the last moment, the creature's jaws snap closed once more, and the arrow and the ball shaft breaks as the impact, the trajectory, which was slightly off, snaps against the jaw. Wait.
I forgot to add the plus. Like I forgot to add the +4. It's okay. It was my mistake. Keep going.
No, that's fine. It's still on your turn.
Okay.
We'll retroactively stop. Actually, we'll carry on with that. So as the bolt breaks, a part of it embeds itself within the eye as the bolt sort of snaps, and the part of the bolt heads towards the eye. Go ahead and roll the damage on that. That is your short bow, so that is 3d6 plus your dexterity modifier.
That was always the plan. The bolt to break and also,
Exactly.
yeah, that was always the
I
plan.
just snapped my earphones out of my ear.
Ooh.
6.
6 damage.
No, because I don't know how to type.
It's 3d6 plus
Yeah.
plus your dex.
11.
11. Okay, you see the creature thrashing about for a moment as the second bolt blinds its only remaining eye. It is now blinded, by the way. It is also extremely bloodied. You notice its movements are very sluggish as it begins to sort of like try to pull itself out of the ground, just growling at you. And it's Mako's turn next. Oh, if he kills this,
He's gonna steal. He's gonna
He,
steal.
he is gonna kill this.
He's gonna-
Steal the kill. What?
He
rolled a
hits.
20.
I'm going to see if he. No, he rolled a 19 to hit.
Oh.
I'm going to go ahead and see what he actually gets, though.
He's gonna boast about it, how he single-handedly took it down.
Oh shit! Is that enough? That's enough. All right. Okay. For the record, the creature had 3 health left. He rolled 6 damage. Mako strides up confidently, taking out another arrow from his quiver, knocking it in his bow, going, "Watch this, guys!" The arrow whizzes towards the creature, somehow finding its way into one of the small nostrils at the front of the creature, just zipping straight into the nostril. As the amount of projectiles are being bombarded towards the creature, the blades from one side, the warhammer from the other side, the broken crossbow bolt shaft entering its other eye, and finally this long arrow embedding itself into the creature. You see the creature stop for a moment, its head raised up about 2 feet above the ground. You see the slow stream, a slow river of blood trickling out of the side of its nostril as more blood gushes out of its eyes, and it just sort of slumps forward. It's not dead. It's breathing still, but it appears to have lost so much blood that it's completely unconscious. From behind you, you hear, "You saved me! You saved me! You saved me, Zine! You saved me, Zine!" And you see the small goblinoid-looking creature coming up to you and sort of being like, "You, master, save me! Thank you! Thank you! It was going to hurt me! I is now your servant. I will come with you wherever you go."
Can I wait? Who in front of who is he?
Well, Gecko actually is the one closest to him because he stepped back. So Gecko right now, he's in front of you, sort of like
Perfect.
holding onto
All
your
me.
leg. So like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I have earned a dobby. Perfect.
Can I ask him what his name is?
In my tongue, my name is Missing Techalic Sharp. But in your tongue is and you see him sort of reach around his body and down towards the loincloth that's covering a part of his bum. And you see him sort of like wiggling around in there and then pulling out, this just became not PG-13, by the way, pulling out a small piece of poo that he reaches down the ground and sort of scrapes against the ground.
Oh!
Leak! How are you doing?
Can we interpret this as skid mark?
Yes.
So if you say, then I skid mark.
Skid mark. Cecil would like to embrace skid mark in a hug.
Yeah.
But making sure his hand doesn't
Yeah.
touch me.
I was gonna say.
He sort of wraps his arms around you, Cecil, and he looks up at the others and goes, "Just one food."
No.
Okay. I react. Cecil reacts and wriggles out and like cat stance sort of, like fangs.
Thank you. My family, they give me to this creature. They don't like skid mark. They don't like skid mark.
Why? Why didn't they like you, Skid?
No reason.
You won't like
Skid mark nice.
Okay, listen, I appreciate we're getting to know you, but half my body is dying. Someone help me.
That's fair. Can I cast your wounds on Gecko?
Go for it. 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So I basically, this is how I do it. I have like a gourd of water, which I carry around with me. And this water, you guys would know, it's like ceremonial water from a fountain from a temple somewhere. And I bring it out and I start like manipulating it with magic, and I pour it over your wounds. And yeah, you basically start feeling better, like the wounds start mending and you start feeling healthier. So let me roll that. You get 11 HP.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm alive.
Wait.
Okay.
Cecil would like to ask Skidmark. So, where did you come from? Where do you live around here?
Yes. But no more. Me stay with you now. You much nudger.
Ah. Okay.
I come from over there. And he gestures towards what you assume would be like the center of the island, the destination you guys were moving towards.
Okay, so we try to like speak to him like as clearly as possible. We are looking for this and show him what like a drawing of or whatever of something they might worship or know of or whatever.
Oh god, don't tell me goblins are the sentient race on this island.
I think so.
Oh god.
I
Like
think
see
so.
see if we can ask him like if he knows about this. We are looking for something. Do you know
Do you
something?
know what? Unfortunately, I don't think you probably know exactly what it is you are seeking at the moment, because Theodore only gave you a very vague description of what it is that you're looking for. I can attempt to communicate that, and we'll see how that works out.
Okay, what do you worship? Do you
Worship? Oh, worship? Huh?
Well, I mean, let me change my voice because I was about.
Do you have a god?
That's a personal question.
God, yes. Yes.
Mikta.
Miktalik.
Miktarik.
Miktalik, big god of sea and storm.
Ah,
Big god.
Interesting.
we might have ran into Miktalik on the way here.
Can I roll a religion check on Miktalik?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Oh man, if you find out something, this is gonna be so good.
I love how Z, you stay in character for the
Yeah. Can you take?
I'm very much a body language DM, so even like if it's online, I feel the need
I love
to,
it.
to remain in character.
Oh
Wow.
wow, that's a roll.
This is your third
How much-
nat 20 today, by the way.
Not 20?
22 in total.
Total, yeah.
Unfortunately, even with a nat 20, you've never heard of Miktalik before. You could make the assumption that this is the native word for a god that you might be familiar with, but the name Miktalik itself does not ring a bell in the slightest to you.
Can you show us?
I mean, that is information in itself. You can definitely ascertain this is probably a native name for what might possibly be a god.
I would just tell him like, can he show us?
Yeah,
No.
I'd be like, I
No.
want to look at me, Kid Mark. I am a priest of the gods of the sea and thunder and lightning, and I cast thaumaturgy to make like thundering sounds behind me and to amplify my voice a little bit. You will take us to your god. You will show us why you were.
Give me an intimidation check with advantage because he's already slightly terrified at this point.
$17.
Does as you're saying this sort of towering over him, all intimidating, like like in an anime where they're trying to be intimidating and their face goes completely dark and you just see their eyes like little yellow
Yes.
slits. There's a thunderclap behind you as you're relaying this to the small goblinoid creature. He just sort of throws himself down in front of you, groveling at your feet, going, "No, master, you take me back. They bring me to lunch. They don't like skeet mark. Please, no!"
We can deal with anything that scares you. As you can see, the land shark lies dead.
If Skidmark tell you why he got banished, you know go back. You know go there.
No.
No.
Can I help persuade? Like, can I rummage through random unneeded objects? Not that any of them are needed in my
Wait.
backpack to help
Peek.
persuade him.
Peek. Give him a piece of glass. Just like see what he does with it.
If I show him just a piece of glass,
Yeah, just show him a piece of glass.
yeah, does he react if I fetch
Show
a
him your
small-
glass.
Yeah, if I show him a shard of glass from my backpack, does he react in any way?
You are touched too.
Yes.
Skidmark. He seems to be like testing the name to see if he likes it. Skidmark. Family angry. Skidmark.
Why?
Skidmark. Skidmark take. Skidmark
What?
take item of Miktalik.
Can we see
Can you
it?
show us? Can you see it?
Is he wearing just a loincloth? Like, where is he hiding this?
He's got some, like I said, he's got some tribal garb. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
his waist is covered by a loin.
Okay.
Okay.
The tribal garb is basically he's got like a couple of red sashes that come down his sides, and there's a very light white vest beneath it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
beneath that, there's this
Yeah.
sort of brownish skirt-like loincloth thing.
Can I offer him
He sort
some
of
random? Go on. Sorry, I didn't. Go
He
on.
sort of stares at the glass, which seems to be the thing that's convincing him the most, and then reaches around and behind
Oh, no.
him and seems to rummage around again in his loincloth.
Oh my
He takes
God.
out this thing which he sort of... What you see is a short cylindrical tube. Like I said, it is a cylinder. It's about this high. The outside of the tube is metal. It appears to be made out of gold leaf or something along those lines.
Mm.
Along it, tiny little red gems are embedded along the sides and inside the enameling of this object. And across the top of it, smeared slightly with this brownish substance, is a lens.
Jesus.
Someone want to clean that?
Can I grab? Can I grab a piece of like my shirt or the pants that I didn't change, right? Tear a part of those pants, and ask Skidmark, can you place it on the material? Like, can you just put it in? I wrap
He
it.
sort of keeps on looking at the glass that you are also holding, peek almost in reverence of it.
I wrap it up, and I just
Mhm.
okay. I look at everyone else and I just go, let's get
As
out.
you're doing so, there's the slightest smell of goblin manure coming out of
Perfect.
it.
You know what?
Wonderful.
I'm just gonna hold it like that. Let's go. Let's go.
Can I treat Skidmark with something like I give him, I don't know, half a plate, so just something just to show appreciation.
Just half a plate.
Yeah.
But don't give him anything sharp, poor
Yeah.
guy.
Tito.
Just to show appreciation.
Just give him the glass.
Half a plate.
Half a yeah. It's like a broken plate made out of clay.
He picks it up with grubby hands and holds it in reverence. Gift from master. Thank you.
Yes, there's more where that came from.
Skidmark happy. Skidmark come with you. Forever.
Are you willing to work, Skidmark? Are you willing to work for your time on the boat?
Out.
Yeah, I was gonna
you
say, like,
what?
does he even know what a boat is?
Out.
You'll find out soon, but are you willing
see.
to work?
Willing? Yeah.
Does he even know what work is?
Want work. Skidmark
Good.
work. Skidmark
Good.
work for masters.
Very
wait,
good.
wait. Better question. Do you like poop?
Oh.
There you go, yeah. See?
Perfect. Well, we have someone to clean out the toilet.
Perfect. Just like grab him, like
That's
just like
great.
hold his hand and move with like
Oh,
move along.
I ain't holding his hand. His hand touched things that I don't want to touch. Unless
Alright,
you put
fine,
some
fine.
hat
I'll
shot.
just like point my quarterstaff towards him, just like tell
Yeah.
him to grab it and just like
Yeah.
move along with it. Yeah.
Okay. You guys begin to make your way out of the tropical jungle of the island of Migdol. When you get to the shoreline, the sun has gone down to about a quarter of the way away from the horizon. You've been in there for maybe 3 or 4 hours. As you row back to the ship, you can see Skidmark's eyes widening in astonishment as he takes in the full capacity of the ship itself. And he's like, boat!
Boat.
Oh,
Big boat!
big boat.
Big boat!
Medium boat. Have you ever been on a boat?
No. Brother Skidmark, sister Skidmark, sometimes person come. Need work.
Okay.
Okay.
Just take him on top onto the boat and like show him the toilets.
Sure.
Your bedroom.
As you climb to the top, Captain Dane, and Theodore Whitebay are waiting for you on deck. And as you disembark onto the deck of the ship, Theodore steps up. Were you successful? Welcome. What do you guys say? Welcome a deck.
Welcome aboard.
Aboard.
Welcome aboard. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Were you successful in your endeavor?
Just hand him the fabric with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Arcelius.
Just
I'm
Here you go.
still holding it at arm's length, and I just go, "Good luck," and I drop it in his hands. Like I just drop it. If he catches it, he catches it. If he doesn't, that's not my problem.
Why does it?
It's a little gift from our new friend.
Peak just points at Skidmark.
I see you found one of the natives.
Yes.
Yes.
He's joining.
He sort of begins to unwrap the strip of cloth, and as the cloth falls away, the device in his hand sort of catches the rays of the sun and reflects outwards. Even with the smear cloth across it, in the sunlight, it looks quite magnificent as it reflects the rays of the sun. And he gasps for a moment. I haven't seen this in over 40 years. We have the first piece, ladies and gentlemen. Next stop, the Red Caps.
Ooh.
The what?
And that's where we'll be ending this session.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can we at least get a reaction of Skidmark in the toilets?
Oh yeah, please. I mean,
That was brilliant.
it's either that or you wash the barnacles off of the side of the ship.
Or go back to your family.
Or become the statue at the mast of the ship, so like tie him up.
Oh no.
Poor Skidmark.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, quick shout out to the Twitchies still watching us. Thank you very much for joining in. We hope you had a lovely, marvelous time, and we hope that you will join us again on our next adventure with the Cross-Tide Company as we make our way to the Red Caps. Have a good evening. Bye. Are we still streaming?
Bye-bye.
I don't know.
Bye, everyone.